I mean, there are people
No sound yet either. So let's start again. All right. Absolutely smashing it. Like a well-oiled machine, this thing.
Oh, man.
Okay. Literally just got a blue screen of death. Like seconds into the live stream. People will still be in the old one. Yeah. Yeah, they will be. I'm going to try and go there and see if I can like tell people.
If you send me a link, I'm
still in the chat.
there.
Okay,
so,
hold on.
Yeah, so I can send everybody a link.
Okay, we can do this. I'm just going to put that screen on for a second so I can minimize you. Okay, there you go. So that's the new one.
Okay, let me copy text.
And that should get us back to where we were. People are trickling in now. Hello, folks. Yeah, my computer just crashed like 2 minutes in, so that's awesome. Never get any crashes on this thing. To be fair, it has been on all day, churning through the Lorcana reveals. So we can give it credit where it's due. It was probably overdue a restart and a cooldown of half an hour. All right, let me get back up our reveals. We can get back to where we were. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. You've heard the intro, but we're going to start from here. Tonight, we're just doing card reveals because there's that many. Pretty fast boot up now. So
yes.
We got there in the end, eh? The beauty of live content, indeed. Can I just say a huge thank you to both Stephen...
Yes.
And there was another one, and I missed it. Who it was?
It's Jim Hawkins.
Jim Hawkins and Stephen. Thank you so much for the super chats. They go directly into purchasing me and Brandon better equipment that doesn't crash.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Anyway, what were we saying? Yes. So
lots of cards.
We got lots of cards. I set my alarm on the hour every hour from 2 a.m. last night. This morning,
really,
to see if the app had updated. Yeah, and so every hour I woke
horrible.
up, checked, went back to sleep. The most annoying thing was I checked at 4 a.m. It hadn't happened. Went back to sleep. The app updated at like 7 minutes past 4.
Yeah.
So I ended up being an hour behind anyway. But yeah, I wanted to try and
okay. You were still before everybody else.
I had a lot of running around to do in the morning. So I was like, if I can get up at like 4 or 5 and get most of the recording done before the kid wakes up, and then I can do the school run and get back and finish it off. And are you guys reading the last 2 Enchanted? Yeah, it's actually me and Brandon. We are the last 2 Enchanted. I'm on one of them.
Surprise. Sorry for you guys, unfortunately.
No, we're not. No. What are we? What do you think they're going to be? I think there's the Reflecting Mulan. I think he's one.
Okay, yeah. I could see that being in Amber for sure.
Yeah. And,
we haven't seen Sisu yet.
Oh, yeah, sure, of course. So Sisu's one. I'm sure, still sure that Sisu is one.
Yeah.
And the other one is, I think he's going to be Mulan Reflecting. That just seems like an obvious pick for me. We will talk more about them next week because we've only actually properly seen 4 of them, and I hate looking at like... What I don't know why everyone insists on taking photos of this stuff with like a Nokia 3310. Like what?
Yes.
Like, why are they always terrible photos?
Hold on. We need to talk about this. If we're gonna leak cards like this early, just take a good photo.
Why? Take your time. It's not.
I record half of my YouTube videos on this thing. Like it's that good. And I know that you guys have phones with good cameras. Come on, people. Like we can do better.
Why sit there doing this when we take the photo. Tanny, thank you so much for the super chat. Love to help out with equipment.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We very much appreciate that. All right, let's dive in. If I press this button, boop. Okay, so I've jerry rigged it tonight. Normally I sit and lay these into nice graphics and stuff, but there's literally like 80 something cards to look at.
Yeah.
So I've just opened them all up in a folder and we're going to look through them. So this is everything everything that's been released since last episode. So since last Monday, this is everything that's been released. But it's in set order. It's not in release order. Normally we would do them in release order, but these are actually in set order. So we're going to start with Amber, and we're going to go right through up until Steel and stuff. So do you want to start us off?
Yeah, why not? We're starting off with Cinderella Ballroom Sensation. She's an inkable 1-cost Amber card with 1 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore, a rare card. She has the ability Singer 3, really good card. Like staple in a lot of Amber decks, especially the Song deck.
This goes in. This is the one drop in the Song deck, right? Is the Amber Steel Song deck running a one drop currently?
Yes, because a lot of people usually run Stitch.
Because they're running
Little Stitch.
Big Stitch as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So does this
And then
replace that?
Maybe, I don't know. See, this is the thing. One of the things that I'm really excited about for Rise of the Floodborn coming out is previously in deck building, a lot of these decks were like put a lot of the good cards in, take the bad cards out, which like I know is usually deck building, but like it wasn't that difficult.
I should try taking the bad ones out. That's where I think I've been going wrong.
Because like there weren't as many cards, right? That were just like, it was pretty obvious which cards were better than others for the most part. But now we have double the card pool, so now it's going to be much more difficult to really refine a deck down to its like best variant.
There is going to be some options.
Yeah.
And it might even just be like flavorful options, right? Like I would just rather play Stitch. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like not only is there going to be more decks in the same ink pairings, but there's going to be different variations of like the Song deck.
Yeah. So you've got to value whether or not you're going to be wanting to sing 3-cost songs early, or as Elliot says there, Steel Song can sometimes run the hook to shift onto the 5-cost hook.
Yeah.
I've never actually played that build of Amber Steel with the big hook, but one of my regulars at locals does and gets a lot of value out the big hook.
I love it.
So yeah, but no, I think this is great. I think it's a really great card, really good rare. It's weird to think that just like a one drop, you know, is like, but I suppose we all went crazy for Lilo when we first saw her as well, and she's just a one drop. But yeah, and this is a really good start. I have to click in here every time. No, it's okay. 5-cost. Oh, okay. We have a rule. Because there's so many cards. We're not talking about vanillas.
Okay.
So we're just going to read them out and let them be on screen for a second. But unless we really got something we need to say about vanillas, we're just going to gloss over them. So 5-costed Inkable, 1/9 for 2 lore, Eudora, Accomplished Seamstress, Storyborn Ally, vanilla common with art by Lisette Carrero. Anything you want to say?
I have so much to say about this card. I'm kidding.
I need 20 minutes of your time. I mean, nine's huge,
nothing
but
special.
whatever.
Yeah, that was the only thing. A lot of willpower. Maybe it sees play for that. Otherwise, we'll move on.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, next is another Amber 3-cost inkable card, Gaston Baritone Bully. He has 3 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, Dreamborn Villain, Singer 5. I think it's another pretty good card for the Singer deck. I question whether this will see play just because we already have Ariel, and whether or not you need more like Singer 5.
You're only playing this
cards.
as well as Ariel, right? Like,
Ariel's in before Gaston, I think, almost always.
Yeah, definitely. But I think you're always playing. If you're playing this, you're playing this as well as Ariel, because it is Ariel just without the digging, right? Still think it's good though. Great art.
Yes, love the art.
Next up, 7-costed Inkable 3/8 for 2 lore. King Louis, Jungle VIP, Storyborn King. Laying on the line, whenever another character is banished, you may remove up to 2 damage from this character. Super rare with art by Haji Juice, I guess. I have no idea how that person's name is pronounced.
Sounded good to me.
Brian says, just joined. Already talk about any additions to Mill or items yet? No, neither. We're working through everything that was revealed this week in set order. So we're currently in Amber. King Louis, I think so. Pretty good. It doesn't feel like an Amber card, even though it does heal. It feels more like Ruby Steel kind of thing.
You think so?
Well, I suppose it doesn't. It's not opponents' characters being banished. It is anything being banished, I guess. Ooh.
Yeah, and that's what I've read this wrong initially, and I thought when it was opponents' characters, I thought the card was a little bit worse. But knowing that you can kind of combo this with a couple different things by just having your stuff banished, I actually think it could be pretty good. I could see it being another top-end card in a deck that cares about healing things or that gets triggers off of things being healed. Yeah,
because this card just on its own is going to trigger like Grandpappy and stuff, which is nice not to have to. Because that was my worry with like the Sapphire Amber healing package, was that you'd need a load of items and actions to do the healing. But I don't think you do. I think you're going to be able to do it. I think you'll be able to do it with characters and a little bit of support from songs and stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
People are asking about the Enchanted. Yeah, so 4 have been officially revealed. We've seen 4 like good versions on websites today. Yeah. I think we've seen 10. Like if you're happy to look at dodgy phone pictures, we still haven't seen. There's one from Amber and one from Sapphire, assuming that we're getting into 2 in each color, which we can assume. I think, but I think he goes with Grandpappy pretty good. Yeah. Next up.
Sure. Next is a 3-cost inkable Amber Mulan Free Spirit with 2 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. Dreamborn Hero Princess, common card with support. I don't know. I don't think it's an amazing card. It's a shift target.
I think that's it. That's all you can say about her, really, is that she's a shift target. Yeah. I don't love the like support on little bodies, you know.
It feels kind of weird.
It just helps something trade up, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah. There's probably better 3-cost cards to be playing, in all honesty.
The thing that I find most strange about this card is that it's obviously a shift target for Mulan Reflecting, but doesn't care about songs. And I think it like if it had something to do with songs, like the next song you play is 1 cheaper or something like that. You know, or you can sing your next song with a character 1 less, you know, something like that. Just like a little bonus to songs. I feel like that could have been okay, but yeah, she's in there if you really want to shift onto the big guy, onto the big version, I guess. 2-cost inkable 1/3 for 1 Lorcana. Darling family pet, Storyborn ally with Nursemaid. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, you may remove all damage from a chosen character. I mean, have we seen a full cycle of these now then? Non-Floodborn characters that care about Floodborns.
Any chink.
Yeah, and they all do the thing, you know. They all do the thing that that color wants to do, right? They were just saying about Mulan there. It's a card you'd want to quest with anyway, so it's, you know, buffering something else is a bonus. And yeah, you're right. I really don't particularly value stuff that increases strength, unless that's really what the deck is. Like if your deck is solely about like challenging and gaining benefits from challenging, then I think that's good. But just as like a little bonus, this thing's a bit stronger now, I just don't feel like it's very often as useful as people think, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, now
I really like.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I really like the support archetype. It's one that I played very early on, but yeah, it's pretty easily disrupted too. Like you have to kind of have the setup for it anyway, and so like support's a really strong keyword. Like I think chat's getting to that is like it's strong because I can quest for 2 with Mulan and then give something strength, but like sometimes that doesn't mean anything. You might as well have just quested her for 2 and nothing else happened. So
yeah, but then again, you've quested for 2, so that's not terrible, I guess. But yeah, Nana, it's fine, I guess. Not the strongest of these. I think Bucky and who's the one that lets you draw a card?
For what?
There's this cycle of ones that cares about Floodborns being played.
Is it? It's not the Amethyst one.
No, it's
I don't
not.
remember.
It's that Mrs. Is it that Mrs. Judson? But she's really quite clunky, I think.
Oh, she's definitely Floodborn. Yeah, or she's like Floodborn synergistic.
She's the one that matters about Floodborns in Sapphire, and I'm pretty sure it's her. And I think she's really clunky. So I don't think this is necessarily strong, honestly. I think I think Bucky making people discard, and I think the Amethyst one is like, does it give stuff something challenger or something? Oh man, there's just been so much lately. I can't remember.
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look it up. My phone's on charge because I've been looking at it all day, being on Twitter, talking about cards. Sorry, welcome Rake and Roll. Thanks for joining us. Justin is the inking. Oh yeah, Justin lets you ink something. That's right.
I think
so it must be the Amethyst is card draw. It's got to be.
It sounds right. Yeah, Amethyst is card draw. So
which one's... Blue Fairy, that's right. Blue Fairy lets you draw.
Okay.
Yes. And I think she's pretty good because she's cheap. So you can throw her out early on and she can hang around, or you can just push your curve a little to play her before you play a Floodborn, because she's like a 1-cost, I think. So I actually think she's pretty good. And I think Bucky's pretty good. And I don't think Nana's too strong. But never mind, she's a good doggo. Go ahead.
She's a good doggo. What?
Nana.
Okay.
Nana's
Oh, Nana.
doggo.
Okay. I was talking about Blue Fairy. Sorry.
Blue Fairy's
in
the
3 places
nice old
right
lady. Blue Fairy looks like a Nana. But,
yeah.
No, Blue Fairy's like, she's quite young looking, actually. I'm thinking of Fairy Goblin.
She's a little young, but she could be like a ant, maybe.
There you go.
Anyway, next is Piglet. Speaking of ants, not the kind I was talking about. Piglet's a very small animal.
Oh my god, these are Liam from the Illumineers level of segues right now.
An inkable 3-cost card with 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore, vanilla, decently statted, but
yeah, good statted vanilla. I'm keeping a playset of these for the inevitable Mecha Piglet Floodborn that we get.
Yeah.
A 2-costed.
Yeah,
go ahead.
There's got to be an Exodia coming somewhere. So if it wasn't with dwarves, I'm betting on 100 Acre Woods. So keep them for that. Yeah.
Mad Donna the Pooh cards are really playable. The Pooh that lets you ink, I think.
The Sapphire Pooh is pretty good.
He's fine. But like he's the only, and I don't know. I'm still saying 15 sets time we're gonna have an incredible mono ruby Tigger deck, but you just gotta sit on it. We just need patience.
It'll happen in 30 sets.
Yeah. Two costed inkable 1/4 for 1 lore. Rapunzel's Sunshine. You can exert it to remove 2 damage. Fine. Floodborn target. Beautiful art though.
Yes. Yeah, I love this card. For the art, if not anything else.
Yeah. And, a perfectly acceptable ability. Weird that it's called Magic Hair and not Healing Glow. Because it's Healing Glow. And that's normally what they do. But, she's good. She's nice. She's a good looking card. But
I think it goes well in the Healing Matters deck.
Yeah.
You're going to be shifting Rapunzel anyway.
Yeah, exactly. This one's a bit more interesting. Go ahead.
Yep, so we have an inkable 2-cost Snow White Lost in the Forest, 2 strength, 3 willpower, Storyborn Hero Princess with the ability I Won't Hurt You. When you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character.
Give me 1 sec, sorry. Remove 2 damage from chosen character. Yes, Rapunzel can heal herself. Yeah, sorry, somebody was just asking. So Snow White, so basically same sort of thing, but this time she's doing it on play. I think she's I think her stat line's a bit more interesting, a 2/3, honestly.
Yeah.
Even though, you like big butts in stuff that cares about healing, and also she's a Floodborn target for the next one, which is a 6-costed uninkable 3/5 for 2 lore Snow White Well Wisher. Do you get it? Well Wisher, because she's she's nice, so she's like giving well wishes, but also there's a well behind her. She's
at the well,
and she's gonna wish in the well.
Is that part of Snow White, like in the movie?
It's been a long time since I've seen Snow White.
I just don't know. I don't know when I'm missing a Disney reference or when it's just a joke.
It's just a pun that they've snuck in. Yeah. There might be a thing about a well. I honestly can't remember. One thing I will say about Snow White is looking at all of these arts, you realize how little definition she has on her face because it was drawn in the 30s or whatever. And like the artists have done a really good job to try and give her some character, but she's basically a like white doll face, and it's very difficult to do anything with her, I think. Anyway, Floodborn Hero Princess, shift 4, and wishes come true. Whenever this character quests, you may return a character card from your discard to your hand. I don't know if this is better than Hades. I think it's different to the 4-costed Hades. And I really want to play with this one to see whether or not the value is there from the repeatable recursion as opposed to the one hit that Hades is. What do you think?
I think they each serve a different purpose. And like, I tried thinking about this earlier today and I'm having a difficult time like explaining that. But I think the value is definitely different in that like Snow White ideally you shift her and then quest and get something back. It's something like there's that scenario, and then there's the scenario where all you care about is like throwing a Hades down, recurring something, maybe like pulling back another Hades, throwing another Hades down, things like that. And so I think Snow White's a good card. I think she will see play, even if she's built around, like I could see an Amber deck that cares a lot about recursion and just like bringing things back.
Yeah. Well, it's just a character heavy deck, right? Like I think
Yeah.
I think she and Hades and the Mufasa, the other legendary, it's just like a character good stuff, I feel, and it's just that winning in the mid range through entropy of just being like, you want to get rid of something, cool, it's right back, you know, and you just keep going around until they've run out of answers. And I think Hades does better like straight after a board wipe.
Yes.
Because usually, like very often, I'm after a Be Prepared, I'm in my Ruby Amber deck. I'm like, okay, cool, Hades into a whatever else you got rid of, you know, and that's really satisfying. You're not going to be able to do that here, but if Snow White sticks around, which she's going to be able to do a lot more, she's a much better statted body than Hades. Hades is what, a 3/2, like dies to all sorts of crap.
That's why I think. Like generally, Hades is probably the better card. But I think the benefits of being able to quest and gain lore as you're bringing stuff back instead of playing a Hades and getting it back and then it maybe dies the next turn and that's all it did. There's that extra value there. So maybe in a little bit slower type of mid-range or control-y list.
Yeah, it's almost pushing towards like a control deck. Ruby Amber, like mid-rangey control, I do think she can fit into it. I don't know what comes out for her right now, though, without sort of sitting there with my deck and going through it. But yeah, I think she's good, and maybe it's like you run a couple of these and a couple of Hades, so you've got the options, but then you're losing some consistency. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Interesting card though, and like worthy of legendary. Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the character and the ability is like the character is popular enough, and the ability is unique enough and impactful enough that it's worth a legendary.
And unless there's a real curveball with the rest of the enchanted, I think this might be the number one enchanted. I think because it's cool art, and again, classic character. It's got the princess tax on it, you know. I think this might be I don't know if we'll see Elsa numbers, but I think this one
think so.
This one could sit at like $400 when all the others sit around $2 or something like that. I think. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm eager to see if the enchanted sit as high as they do for the first chapter, or if they're closer to like the 100 mark.
Seeing them today, I feel like they won't, honestly, just from how I feel about them. But it's so subjective, right? Like, I feel like it's a real mixed bag this time round, whereas I kind of loved all of them first time round. And maybe it's just because they were new, and it was the first time we saw anything like that, you know, after so long. So I don't know. All right, next up.
Next up is an inkable 1-cost, the Queen Regal Monarch, 2 strength, 2 willpower, 1 lore, Storyborn Villain Queen. Again, another vanilla card, but I think a really important vanilla card in that it's a great shift target for the Floodborn Queen that comes in the starter deck, and we saw very early on that can shift on turn 2 onto this one.
Getting her on 2 it's kind of insane.
It's nuts.
That's a hell of a statted body.
I was crossing my fingers. I was crossing my fingers for a 1-cost queen, because after I saw the Floodborn one, I was like, I would really love to play with this card.
I totally thought it was going to be like a shift across rather than a shift up. I was like, this will be, you get some value out of a 3 or 4 costed queen, and then you shift over to this one and start that. I was gobsmacked seeing this card. It's a Queen Goons, says Goons. You're right. It is a Goons, but it's a really important one. You know, this is almost more important than Stitch New Dog now as the 1-drop. You know, because the target is literally the next turn. I mean, you're going to mulligan so hard to get either or. And
it's
both
so
of
easy
these.
to find. Like the way the mulligan works. I mean, in my Ember Steel deck, there's a lot of 3-card combos that I need in an opening hand, and I find those fairly regularly. So I imagine it's going to be pretty easy to grab these if you run 4 of each. Yeah,
I was really hoping for a 1-drop Sapphire Bell for the same reason, just so you could get the Archer out super early as well. We didn't get this set, maybe in a future one, but no, this is. We said we wouldn't talk about vanillas, but I do think it was worth chatting about this one. Great art as well. Looks great. 2-casted inkable action, hold still, remove up to 4 damage from a chosen character. Actions just don't do much for me, honestly. Like
actions that heal characters like that, it just feels like a really situational, not too impactful card. Or like maybe when it's impactful, I don't know. It's just like it's so specific. I don't think you have the room in most decks to put a card like this in it.
That's sorry. Lorcana Goons made a really good point there about the Queen. She is the Floodborn one a 5.
Yes.
So that's Singer 5 on turn 2.
Let me double check. Let me check.
The problem with
it might be 4.
The problem with like being able to sing 5-casted songs on turn 2 is
a lot.
Like, what are you? But what are you going to play? What do you grab your swords? You're killing one thing of theirs.
Well, I mean, I immediately think like Whole New World. That was pretty oppressive against Ruby Amethyst of just like forcing them to discard a lot of really good stuff.
So okay, so turn 1, you're on 7 cards.
She is 5, by the way.
You ink, play her. Turn 2, you draw up to 6. You ink, you play the shift. You sing Whole New World. You're ditching 4, drawing 7. They're probably ditching the same and drawing 7. So all you're doing really is messing with their mulligan.
Yeah, but that's better.
Could be enough.
That's better than what it has been, which is Ariel on 3, Whole New World on 4, and them getting rid of however many cards were in their hand at that point.
A few less, yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe Whole New World on turn 2 is going to be a thing. That's kind of gross.
That sounds very gross, I think.
All right, yeah. Hold still. Whatever. I don't know. It's a little action. It's inkable, sure. I don't think you'll see play.
I don't either.
Another one. Go ahead.
Next is an inkable 2-cost action song card, Painting the Roses Red. Up to 2 chosen characters get -1 strength this turn. Draw a card. I like this card because it's a song and you draw a card, which is nice. The strength will probably be helpful, but I just kind of consider it a like icing on the cake, really.
Yeah, it's an action that replaces itself, which is always worth looking at. I'm not sure this is a color that really cares about that, though. It seems to be that Emerald and Ruby are going to be the ones that, if there is a deck that's like an actions matter thing, it's those, you know. But sure. Here's a good one. 2-costed uninkable item. A silly song, Sleepy's Flute. You can exert it. If you played a song this turn, gain 1 lore. I love this. Yep. Because it's the most random thing. Sleepy has a flute, apparently. That's a thing, I'm sure. Did you know that Sleepy had a flute?
No.
This is good. This is like lantern level good item, I think. This is very playable. I think
this is very good. Yeah, I mean, in Amber, you're obviously trying to play a lot of songs, so you should be able to use this pretty frequently, and it's pushing you closer to a win condition.
I've always said that, not that Amber Steel Songs needs the help, but the one thing I feel like it's always lacked is a way to actually get you closer to the win con. Like, it's got all the cogs whirring, you know, it's finding your cards, it's finding your characters, it's bringing back characters, it's affecting the board. But at the end of the day, the songs themselves aren't actually winning the game. You're still having to quest with characters, right? The songs are incredible support in the deck, but they are support in the deck. Whereas this actually kind of gives you the like a win, almost a win con, I guess. Did you play 4 of these, do you think, in it?
Maybe I think it honestly depends on if you want to play lanterns too. Like, it's tough because it's an uninkable, right? And so how important is
an uninkable 2-drop item? It's like exact same as lantern, right?
Yeah, and so like I wouldn't say that Amber Steel always struggled to get to the end. So I wouldn't say this is a win more. I think this is like a help win. Yeah. But it's probably not it's not the win condition. So you may not end up actually, running very many of these. Yeah, you're not as much like Lantern, you kind of hating this as a top deck, right? Because you're like, fine, I'll throw this down. Many times in my Ruby Amber deck, I'm finding the 3rd Lantern and being like, fine, and putting it down. So
Yeah, for that reason, I'm not sure it's a 4 of. Still, great rare, though. All right. We're in. That's Amber done. We're into Amethyst. How far are we into the stream? An hour. Jesus. Okay. No. We start at half past.
No,
so
30
half
minutes.
an hour. Half an hour. That's still 3 hours, though. Come on. Let's go.
Okay.
I read the last one out. Go ahead.
Did you? Oh, okay. Inkable 2 costs, blue fairy rewarding good deeds, 1 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore. Has evasive, ethereal glow. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, you may draw a card. Like you said earlier, probably the best version of one of these play Floodborn character
cards. The thing
cards.
is, she's the best one of them because draw a card is the best thing you can do in a game.
Yeah.
They would. I can't imagine they ever print one that says if you play a Floodborn, gain lore.
Gain a lore.
But,
that's exactly
like
what
that would be the best one then, right? But drawing a card is the best thing you can do in a trading card game, and so anti-blue fairy is very playable for that, and evasive as well. Like just a good little body as well. Really, she's a Pascal. She's a Pascal at 1 extra cost, but she lets you draw cards. Now, I will say that I don't know whether Amethyst has necessarily got the best Floodborns.
That's what I was just trying to think of. Are there cheap Floodborns in Amethyst, or ones you'd be playing a lot of?
I'm not sure the Pinocchio is going to see much play. Obviously, Spirit of Winter, one of the best cards in the game, is technically a Floodborn, but you're only really playing her at 8, and if this thing is still around by then, I don't know what's going on. Other than that, none of them are really jumping out to me. Oh, the Mim, Madam Mim, that we'll get to in a minute. Is she Floodborn or is she just Dreamborn?
She's Floodborn.
Yeah.
I guess you can shift on 3. Madam Mim can shift 3.
So that's... But obviously you've got to have... There isn't a 1-drop Mim, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're not playing this and that. Base character, her on 2, shift on 3. I mean, that is the best case. And maybe this just goes well with another paired colour. But yeah, she dies to any kind of, giant fairy, any pingy things, which is a lot of in this set. But, if you get 2 cards out of her, I think you've probably got the value out of her because... She's stuck around long enough to maybe quest for 3 as well at that point. I don't know. I don't think it's a terrible 2-drop.
Yeah.
4-costed inkable, 4/2 1 lore, Dr. Facilier, savvy, opportunist, storyborn villain, sorcerer with evasive. New Floodborn target for Argent Provocateur, I guess, but otherwise I haven't really got much to say about him.
Yeah, I don't think he's very great. The 2 lore kind of kills it for me. Pretty much it. Or sorry, 2
willpower. Yeah, the shift 3 Pinocchio. I mean, there is, but I don't know whether it's good. My camera is freezing over. Sorry, I don't know why. We'll carry on. It's okay as long as you can hear my dulcet tones. French vanilla. Yeah. So you know the term French vanilla. Okay, because I know that's a magic term. I don't know whether it's coming to other games, but yeah, a vanilla that just has a keyword on it.
Has a keyword.
Yeah, French vanilla, and that's what this is. I like Argent Provocateur. I don't really like any of its shift targets yet. Next one, go ahead.
We have an inkable 5-cost card, Fairy Godmother, here to help with 3 strength, 7 willpower, and 2 lore. Vanilla, big butt.
Not even a great target for a Floodborn, I don't think,
No.
Yeah.
I think the other one is better.
I think so, which is, we'll do the Floodborn first. A 5-costed, shift 2. I'm loving that, by the way. I'm loving the 3 reductions on shifts.
Yes.
Crazy. 3/4 2 lore, Fairy Godmother, Mystic Armorer. Forget the coach. Here's a sword. Instantly, my new favorite ability name.
Yeah, I love this whole card.
It's just so good. When this character quests, your characters get. Do you know what? I remember when this came out and I read it. I was like, whenever this character quests, your characters gain Challenger 3, and I went, ugh. And then the next bit says, and gains when this character is banished as a challenge, return this card to your hand, and I instantly perk back up again.
Yeah.
What's the new OP deck? Yeah, we're not there yet. We've just seen these for the first time today. I hope it's discard.
I'll tell you when I know.
But yeah,
I don't.
I do.
I hope so. No.
Yeah, I think this is I think this is pretty good. I think this is pretty
I think
good.
this is
know?
pretty good.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. I was thinking today of like cheap characters and like stuff you can do. You can shift this on I think turn 4, and then on turn on turn 4 you can also play like the Queen of Hearts Ruby Rush character, and she's all of a sudden a 5/2 swinging
then going
immediately
back to your hand.
and going back to your hand. You know, there's a lot of really cool stuff that I think you can do with Fairy Godmother. I also just absolutely love the narrative of her giving Cinderella a giant, what I'm assuming is glass sword for Cinderella to go fight people with, I guess.
It's so good. It's like, I want to get the ball. No, take this. Go kill stuff.
There's a flood.
It's so good. People saying pair with Shadow Peter Pan. Yeah, because that's like rush and evasive stuff would be really good. Yeah. Rush goes really well with this, I think. Just, you know, imagine Maui being like what would he be, like an 8/6 that goes back to your hand?
I think he'd be a 9/6 or a 9/5, right?
He's a 6/5, not a 5/6. Sorry, so he'd be a 9/5 that goes back to your hand. That's so good. Made out of pumpkin. There's a pumpkin on the hilt. Look,
bunkers.
There's a pumpkin on the hilt.
Oh yeah, I missed that. That's
so
cool.
good. It's so good. Oh, what a card! This is what I want Lorcana to be. Goofy ass. Fucking stuff like this. It's so good. That's like real great attention to detail, but also really dumb.
Part of this is why I want like some graphic novel series where we just get small stories of like watching Cinderella go do something in her armor.
I want a Disney What If that's the series that's just Lorcana cards. It's so good. Another one then, 3-costed Inkable, 3/4 for 1 lore, Fairy Godmother, Pure Heart, Storyborn Ally Fairy. Just leave it to me. Whenever you play a character named Cinderella, you may exert chosen character. This could be a vanilla, and I'd probably still play it just to shift the other one onto, but yeah, I'd love, again, we want a 1-costed Fairy Godmother, but it'd be so broken. Like I feel like they can never print one. I feel like they can never print a 1-costed Fairy Godmother.
That's a pretty strong ability, yeah.
This on 2, a 3/4 for 2 lore on 2. That, I mean, to be fair, like there would be nothing out that gets her ability that first turn.
No,
but on turn 3, you could start with rush characters.
I mean, you could technically give what? Oh no, yeah.
No, because you'd have to shift onto her. We're turn 1, right? So turn 1. A 1-drop Fairy Godmother. Turn 2, this gets shifted and quests for 2, and most likely doesn't die. A 3/4, there's nothing that deals with
I don't think that's dying.
Gaston is probably the only thing at the moment, right? But you know, chances of seeing that is pretty low. And then turn 3, you drop down a Rafiki.
Yeah,
and it's a 6/3.
Obliterates whatever.
Yeah, that's kind of broken.
Yeah.
They'll never do it. They'll never print a 1-drop Fairy Godmother. You heard it here first. Your turn.
Okay. I can't see the screen. You got to tell me when you switch cards.
Oh, I'm sorry. I felt like that was a natural break.
See, I'm always scared to just move on. You know, I need to go ahead.
After that longer gap, I'm not going to go. Hold on, we're still talking about Fairy Godmother.
I just never know. And okay, whatever. Anyway, we have an Inkable 2-cost.
Hold on.
Hey, All right, guys. We have an Inkable 2-cost. Hey, persistent presence with 2 strength, 1 willpower, 1 lore. Dreamborn ally ability. He's back. When this character is banished in a challenge, return this card to your hand. I love the flavor of this card. Like one of my favorite cards in the whole set.
Yeah.
Just
did you have like luxurious Phoenix hey on your Rise of the Floodborn bingo cards? Because I did not.
No. Yeah, just the flavor of like him always coming back and being really difficult to get rid of. Yeah. And like not annoying enough or not impactful enough that you want to use a removal spell on him
deal with it,
to get rid of him.
Yeah.
but bad enough that you might actually challenge him.
I think at some point, yeah, because it's the thing. It's not challenger. It's either side. Either gets hit either way. So it has to have a removal spell for it to stop being a problem. Yeah, I think this is great. There's a hidden Mickey on here. Is there really? Oh yeah, there's a massive hidden Mickey right there. I've never noticed that before. There's a huge hidden Mickey in the lava.
Yeah.
It's not even hidden. Sort of hidden Mickey. No, that's blatantly a hidden Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah, great art. And like I feel, I in my video I did earlier today, I said that this is one of those cards where right now I'm gonna say, this is fine. But I feel like in 3 months' time we will all sit here and be like, I can't believe we slept on that. Hey. Like, I feel like this easily could go into some really badass deck that just absolutely abuses it.
I agree.
Yeah, it's great. I think it'll look really good in foil as well. 2-costed Inkable, 1/2 for 1 Lord, Jiminy Cricket, Pinocchio's Conscience, Storyborn Mentor with Evasive. And when you play this character, if you have a character named Pinocchio in play, you may draw a card. I'm never a massive fan of cards that name other cards.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is the worst one of them.
I don't either. I'm looking up now to see.
We have 2 1-drop Pinocchios.
Okay, so there is a 1-drop Pinocchio.
We have 2 1-drop Pinocchios, and we have a 3-drop Shift, like a 5-drop Shift 3. So you can curve with this.
Trying to find it.
Right?
1-drop Pinocchios?
We definitely have a 1-drop because it's.
So there's a 2-drop.
Oh, are they both 2? Oh, are they both 2? They might both.
Oh, they are both 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember them having the same. I remember them having the same cost, and I thought the cost was 1, but no, they're both 2. Okay, so you can't really play this on curve.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I was gonna say if we had a 1-drop Pinocchio, I think this is okay, even with it naming the card. But I don't know anymore.
2 drops. Yeah, I don't know. It's common. We can't expect much, I guess. All right, carrying on.
Okay. Next is an inkable 2-drop Cusco Wanted Llama with 1 strength, 2 willpower, and 1 lore. Storyborn King ability, okay, where am I? That says when this character is banished, you may draw a card. Pretty good 2-drop for Amethyst, I think.
It's it's a floater. Floaters are good. I'm curious actually because I partly feel that in a color like Amethyst, this isn't good enough card draw. It feels ridiculous to say in this game.
Maybe you're right.
But that's how I feel about it. I feel like you'll draft this all day.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know if this finds a slot in Amethyst as it stands. To be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, already Maleficent on 3 and then Sing is so good. Yeah. It's like, do you need even more card draw?
The only real downside to this is it's not when you decide to banish it. It's not going to be very impactful.
No,
because you're swinging to do 1 damage to something.
And with all the ways that you can punish healing now, or like maybe you don't want things to be damaged, like it might actually end up being a bad thing. You might not want to, like there may not be an opportunity where you feel okay with just throwing this into something and banishing it.
Yeah. Lorcana says this needs Reckless. No card ever needs Reckless.
Yeah.
Reckless is a downside on cards. Any card can be reckless if you want it to be. You just have to swing it into something.
Yeah.
Reckless makes them have to swing into something. Reckless is a negative effect on a card.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you believe hard enough, anything can have reckless.
Surprise, everything does.
5-costed Inkable 2/5 for 2 lore, Madam Mim. Right, can you let me know in the comments? Is it annoying that me and Brandon read through cards differently? Because I've noticed it's something that's been niggling on the back of my mind. I've noticed it very much today. I do it backwards. I do like clockwise around the card. I do cost, strength and willpower, lore up to the name, and then the ability. Whereas you do cost, name, strength and willpower, lore. You probably do it the right way around.
I think normally, like in videos, I do it the way you do it, but because we're like talking about the cards and announcing it, I want to say the name
You want to
first,
get the
and I
name out of the
usually just
way?
forget to.
I kind of just found myself in this pattern that I do it every time, but I just didn't even notice you read it differently. I do apologize, Stephen, because now you
Well,
never
now
won't.
everybody's gonna know.
Like instant, I'm watching the view count just drop as people realize and get infuriated.
And now I'm gonna read it differently every time.
Okay, so I'll do this next one. This is a rare card, 5 costed, 2 strength, shift 3, 2 lore, 5 willpower, inkable, rival of Merlin with art by Mane Candelayan, Madam Mim, sorcerer, Floodborn, in Amethyst, villain. With the ability
my brain hurts after hearing that. That was so hard to keep up with. I don't think anyone's watching anymore.
That's it. We blew up the internet. Gruesome and Grim. Exerted to play a card with cost 4 or less for free. They gain rush at the end of turn, banish them. So this is Gruesome and Grim on a stick. Pretty good stick. I love this card. This is great. This is doing everything I wanted to do. It's incredible art. Really great ability. Really great that the only thing that could have made this even better is if instead of exerting for the ability, it did it when she quested.
Yeah.
Because now you have to choose, do you want the 2 lore or do you want to be able to play something? And that's not a terrible choice to make. There are going to be times where you can just quest, and there are going to be times when you need to deal with the opponent's board. If it did both, it would most likely be a legendary, honestly. Like, it would genuinely be enough for it to be legendary, I feel. But yeah, this is great.
Lorcana Goon says, Wall of Text, and it's only chapter 2. Gotta love it.
Yeah, but to be fair, most of it is reminder text. I always feel like you can ignore anything that's in brackets.
Yeah, I don't think it's terrible. Yeah. There's a card that I don't remember what it is, and I'll remember if we read it, that definitely feels like Yu-Gi-Oh text.
Already, yeah. It's kind of crazy, eh? I'm going to be throwing goats at us all day long. I am chucking goats with this.
That's why I think it has to be either quest or exert, because I feel like the stuff you're doing with Gruesome and Grim is probably impactful enough that it's like,
now this exists, do you... Because I felt like Gruesome and Grim would see play as an action. Seeing this, do we think it still does? Are you running both, do you think?
I don't know, because I actually didn't love Gruesome and Grim.
Okay.
Outside of maybe like a bounce deck, and then I felt like you had to have a lot of other stuff to like make it work. Now that I see it on Madam Mim, I think it's much better, like just being on a body. And maybe I'm just wrong for that. I don't know. But
no, I mean, it's better on a body, right? Like the characters on board is just better than actions. I still think. I don't know whether both fit in the deck though.
I don't know
if you're
either,
really leaning into
because like some of the most, I mean, I know you're going to talk about the infinite loop that's possible with this card in a video soon, but like, things like that are super valuable that you can't do with the song, with the action. No. So I don't know if the song also sees play.
Yeah, we'll mention it briefly. There is a infinite loop, and I keep doing this.
Yeah,
because it's only infinite as long as they have something you can hit. There is an infinite loop.
LeFou is banished.
Yes. So so Madam Mim, Rival of Merlin, is on the board. You also have an Argent Provocateur out, and you have a LeFou in your hand. You can exert this to play LeFou for free. As LeFou enters, Madam Mim readies. LeFou hits something, dies, and goes back to your hand because of Argent Provocateur. You rinse and repeat. It's infinite. Fire the cannons, basically, as long as they have something that's exerted or hittable, and the like you say, the challenge actually kills LeFou. If you also have a sheer card out that gains a law when something challenges something, and they have an exerted Cinderella that has resist 2, then it is an infinite loop
then
until
it
you
is
win.
infinite. I didn't think about
not
that.
Not only does it go forever, you win because
you just automatically win.
LeFou comes out, hits Cinderella, doesn't hurt her, but dies. You gain a lore from Shere Khan, and you rinse and repeat. Now that is a 5-card combo where one of the cards is your opponent's, and they have quested into it. But technically that loops around until you win the game. And yeah, Sunscorcher says as infinite as you need it to be, of course. Actual infinite loops, at least in Magic, we have to kind of see how this all works in Lorcana. But an actual true infinite loop in Magic, as in a series of combos that continue to happen that you can't stop, becomes a draw.
Oh, really?
So if none of the cards have a caveat, if none of the cards have a you may, you know what I mean, and they don't end up in.
I think I get what you're saying.
And they don't end up in somebody losing the game. So there are things that say, when this comes out, it generates a 1/1 token. When a 1/1 token is made, you sacrifice a treasure. And another card says when you sacrifice a treasure, this thing ready. You know what I mean? And there's no like may, and it just goes around
so
and around.
It can't stop.
And you have to call the game a draw because the game will just you can't break the state-based actions of the cards that are happening. We don't really know fully yet how Lorcana deals with state-based actions and how it deals with sort of triggers really fleshing out. And we'll get to a couple of cards later where I think we need to know now because of how they are worded. But yeah, there you go. So technically, because of this card being an exert ability and LeFou Register, you can kind of loop it round, and the more cards you add into that process, you can technically win the game with this. But it's it's never going to happen. Yeah, really great fun card though. Even ignoring that.
Yeah, really good card, I think. Next is an uninkable 4-cost Peter Pan Shadow, not sewn on, 2 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore, storyborn ally with evasive and rush, with the ability tiptoe your other characters with rush, gain evasive, also a super rare. I think it's a good card. I definitely think it's a build around card.
Yeah, your characters with rush. Yeah, I always feel like the other way around might have been better. Like your characters with evasive gain rush. But
really?
I don't know. It depends how prevalent evasive is as a deck type, because at the moment it isn't. So the only time you're really running evasive is because you feel like you need to answer the occasional evasive card that turns up. Like if it was the other way around, I feel like you could just build a really sort of aggressive deck that would kill anything. But there you go. Look, first to 20 there gives Maui evasive to banish stuff he couldn't hit before. Again, you're not using evasive as a defensive ability. You're using it as offensively to deal with the occasional evasive you come across. So I don't know whether it's enough to build around it.
The reason I say that I think it's a build around is because I think there's a Amethyst Ruby deck that cares primarily about challenging, like with Shere Khan and stuff, and gaining lore through that. And I think this card goes really good in that, because one thing I noticed looking over a lot of the Ruby cards yesterday was a lot of them have rush, and a lot of them, like a big theme in Ruby is just challenging stuff. And like sometimes it benefits, sometimes it doesn't, but it's obvious that Ruby just likes to hit things. And so I think maybe there's a deck where you play cards that have rush and not reckless, and you have the benefit of, if you need to take out an evasive, you can. If not, it just sticks around and you can quest with it with evasive, and your opponent has to deal with that.
Yeah, and I guess as Uncommon Cardboard said, I'd be careful not to use people's real names. I don't know whether they want them being used. Uncommon Cardboard in the chat says that it, swing in, and then there's less chance of the crackback, which is also a good point, because chances of them playing evasive. That's actually very good. That's probably the way this card gets used a lot, actually. Stat line's a bit crummy and it's uninkable. I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. Somebody will make a deck out of this, and I'll go, oh yeah, of course. I said it from the beginning that this was a great card. 5 costed, uninkable, 3/3 for 2 lore. Pinocchio on the run, Floodborn hero, shift 3. And listen to your conscience. When you play this character, you may return chosen character or item with cost 3 or less to their player's hand. I don't know about this one. Like, I feel like it should be good, but I just don't feel enthused by it.
I kind of feel the same way. I almost feel like I'm missing something. Like there's something I'm not getting, or like cards that I'm not thinking of that make this good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, chat. Am I weird? Is it good?
I like the fact that it's character or item, and it's just their player's hand. So you can use this to bounce your own thing, or you can use it as like a mother's knows best on, but cost 3 or less.
Yeah, I kind of hate that part. And I'm getting to the point in Amethyst where there's so much bounce and things happening that I'm having a difficult time figuring out, like, okay, is this better than just running a different card that says bounce?
Yeah.
Like a Madam Mim card that says you have to bounce a card. Like, you get the option of an item, but let's be honest, how strong were items beforehand? Are they going to be much stronger this set?
Rich in the chat there says, I think item roof will become more important now that set 2 is introducing more of it. I still can't see myself playing a card because it removes items. Even as items get better, which that might be, I still kind of see items as like a support for a deck. And the occasional time I play against a full item deck, then I'll just try and beat it how I try and beat any other decks,
Yeah, I can see them becoming big enough. I mean, I already started running beasts just because of Magic Mirror and Ruby.
Really? Yeah, that was enough for it wasn't for me. I'd sit there and be angry that mirrors would have been played against me, but I still wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I can see where people have thought, like you have those thoughts, and understand that. But there's a couple items that we've seen. I'm thinking specifically of like Sorcerer's Spellbook, where you just gain a lore. Like that could get oppressive pretty quickly if there's no way
to go away.
To deal with it. So I think maybe there's reason to run item removal. Is this the only way to remove items in an Amethyst X deck?
I almost thought we might have seen an item board wipe in this set.
Yeah, me too.
Because you're right, that Sorcerer's Spellbook is probably quite oppressive. If they've got 3 of them out, you're killing one. Cool, right? Like I was kind of thinking we would see an item wipe, like some sort of beast rampage or something like that, But thematically really interesting, this one. People say in the chat this is the ink flood that we hear of, I think, and we're seeing it. But that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know whether it's actually seen play. This card is only good if you play a whole new world after. After bouncing something. I mean, I feel like you're just saying a whole new world is good. It's whole new world's good. Who knew?
Yeah. Okay, next is an inkable 6-cost card, Yzma, scary beyond all reason. She has 4 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. Floodborn villain sorcerer, shift 4 with an ability Cruel Irony. When you play this character, shuffle another chosen character card into their player's deck. That player draws 2 cards. Super rare card. Art done by Casey Robin. I love this card for all the reasons. I think it's a good Amethyst card. It's finally Amethyst has some way to remove a card off of a deck or a card off of the board.
Does it
on its own? I mean, essentially.
Why I'm asking. You know why I'm asking, don't you?
No other than it just goes back into the deck.
No, because it says card, and nothing else says card. Chosen character. Whenever something is removed from the board, it says chosen character.
Okay. So you think this is in hand?
No, I think it's board. My point is, though, that Ravensburger need to sort their shit out.
Yeah.
And start writing cards the same way.
Yeah,
because I think it is something from the board. Of course it is. It's a super rare, and it would be crazy if it doesn't. But it says card, and nothing else that removes something from the board mentions card. It's a card when it's anywhere other than the board, When it's on the board, it's just a character, and it's irritating me no end. And I have to stop myself. Steve Warner has added me on Facebook, and I have to stop myself messaging him constantly about this sort of stuff.
I will say it is kind of surprising. Like, I love Disney Lorcana. I will play this game for a very long time, but it is a little surprising to see just how many cards I look at, and I'm just kind of like,
I don't know
how did it get past? Either I don't know how this works, or like, why does this work the same way as this other card, but it's worded entirely differently?
Yeah.
You know, like it's not consistent across a lot of things. I think like Winnie the Pooh was one of those. I know that struck up a huge argument, the Sapphire Winnie the Pooh, and whether the card could be inkable or not.
I went to town on Facebook about that one last night.
And like, you know, it's just stuff like that, you know. I know Ravensburger, you're doing your best, but we need some consistency. We also need some official rulings because of a lot of this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What if they rule that this only removes the shifted card and not the full character? Could well do. It could. And honestly, if that's how it came out and that's why the word card is there, I would accept it. But I just need to know. I need to know what they mean.
Yeah, we would know that if there were official rules out.
It could be that. It could just be that it removes the top one. I'd be surprised if it does, because they're always very adamant that Floodborn move together, and it is two. You know, the game considers them to be two cards, right? But who knows? We'll see. But yeah, if it okay. Sorry, I kind of derailed that a little bit there with my little rant on templating. But if this just works how we think it is, which is, you know, shuffle something into somebody's deck, that can either be something you no longer lead and therefore you draw two, or it can be a sort of last-ditch way of getting rid of something really awful on the other side. I think it's really good still.
Yeah, I do too.
Cool. Full-costed inkable. Item in Amethyst, binding contract for all eternity. Exert, to exert one of your characters, to exert chosen character, exert. This is terrible, yes?
Yeah, I don't think this is good.
Okay, we'll move on. I'll do the next one, because the next one's terrible as well. One costed uninkable item, Hurtling Hedgehog. Banish this item, chosen character gains rush this turn. This is terrible, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, we're into Emerald then. Off you go.
All right. Now we have Arthur, Trained Swordsman, inkable 4 cost with 4 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore, vanilla. Phenomenal art, maybe some of the best in the set.
Gasped when I saw this.
Yeah,
like genuinely was like, so good.
I wasn't lying when I tweeted earlier about like cards that made me like drop my jaw. Yeah. I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So yeah, other than that, not too exciting of a card, but like art is phenomenal.
Yeah. I've got to go back very briefly because Vardalama does make a good point. On this one here, it uses exert twice, and then it uses the exert symbol twice on binding contract, and then the word exert. And I think that is consistent because I think the symbol is used when it's a cost.
Yes.
Yeah, so the symbol is used when exerting the card is part of the cost of the ability, and then uses the word exert when it is the what happens basically. So so that actually is so far at least consistent. But yeah, it's worth pointing out. It's a good point. It's a good point to point out. Sorry, we'll go back. Yeah, Arthur's great. Sorry, just wanted to catch that before the chat moved on.
Yep, that's all.
All right, 3 costed inkables, 0/5 for 1 Lord Donald Duck Sleepwalker. Storyborn with Startled Awake. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +2 strength this turn.
I don't love it.
No, I don't either. I'll be honest with you, I think they could print an ability that says whenever you blink, this character gets +1 strength, and I still wouldn't play it. Like, +1 or +2 strength just really doesn't enthuse me. Like, and I'm sure it's strong in the right situation, but whenever I see anything that's like +2 strength, I'm just like, ugh, it just really bores me.
In scenarios like this, I don't think it's great. The only time that I see like +X strength cards being played is like Alice and Pete, who we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get to, that care about that for other reasons. And I wonder if resist will be prevalent enough that people start running like I need to give things extra strength just to like banish cards efficiently. But even then I'm not sure because you probably just end up playing cards like Dragonfire or things that like
Yeah,
just
or
banish.
just something that's like naturally statted better. Like I'm sure there's
Yeah.
a 2/4 you can run vanilla that does the job of this card,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Without the
exactly. Yeah,
caveat
and
of
that's
an
why I say
action. Yeah.
in this case I don't think that matters because going from 0 to 2 is negligible for those reasons.
I
But
like his chunky but 5 willpower for 3. I mean, yeah, but he just sits there in quest for 1. If this had 2 lore, maybe it would be better. I don't know.
is there another Donald shift target in
Um,
Ruby? But I don't
that's
know in
it, I
Emerald.
think. Yeah, this is the only one that the gentleman can shift onto.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't. But the gentleman's
I don't
4,
think
right?
yeah, I still don't
Yeah,
think
you
you
play
play
him on
it.
4. I think like the gentleman doesn't even have to be Floodborn. You play him on 4 and all day
Right,
long, and you're
he's
happy
just
with
good.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Next is Dr. Facilier, Fortune Teller, Inkable 7 cost, 4 strength, 4 willpower, 3 lore, Storyborn villain, sorcerer with evasive. Ability, you're in my world. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character can't quest during their next turn. I immediately thought of the Queen when I saw this card. I don't know if we reviewed her yet, but I thought this might be good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think this is better than Mother Gothel,
Mm-hmm.
the 6 cost one. 3 lore is a lot of lore, so and evasive, so
It
pretty good in
is,
game.
but then Mother Gothel. I think the reason why Mother Gothel in so much play is she's relatively slow, and this
Yeah,
is a turn slower and only makes one thing not quest. But I guess it's so the difference is that this is on his questing trigger and not when he's exerted, right?
yeah, that and he has evasive, so theoretically he's harder to
Hard
get
as to
rid
get
of.
rid of,
Like
yeah.
part of the thing with Mother Gothel is you exerted her and the opponent went okay, and then banished her the next turn, and then everything you just did didn't matter
Yeah,
because now you can quest.
This guy either needed to be a little cheaper, or it should have been worded like John Silver. It should have been when you play this
On
character,
play.
yeah, and when it
Yeah.
quests. I think. Still don't hate it though. I don't know. This is one of those ones where I want it to be a little bit better than it is. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
there's always a few cards in this game where I'm like I want it to be better.
Yeah.
Sorry, just checking chat's agreeing with us.
Mm-hmm.
Forecasted uninkable, excuse me. Did we not talk about it? This only came out this week?
Yeah.
Wow. Forecasted uninkable 2/3 for 4 lore. Flynn Rider, his own biggest fan, Floodborn hero prince with shift 2, evasive, and no other abilities. This card is broken. No, it says one last big score.
I wish.
This character gets -1 lore for each card in your opponent's hands. You don't like him?
I don't like him.
Is that because you don't like discard, or you don't like?
No, it's
you
not.
Don't like this
I
card?
wanted this card to be good. Like I when I first saw this card, I was like, "Yes, this is awesome." And then I read the ability, and I was like, "This got so much worse." I think again, this is a great card to play in a queen deck.
This is the best queen target currently. Yeah.
Yeah. But unless there's just an extremely aggressive discard deck, I don't know. I just don't see this card getting like you hope he can get 3 on average, but I don't know how frequently that's going to happen. Cuz I think discard is going to run into a thing they have to balance where you can only run so many cards that say make your opponent discard a card, because eventually your opponent's not going to have any cards to discard, and all of those cards that you have are going to be useless.
But this quest for 4.
But then this quest for 4. But if you are trying to balance that aspect and you're not running as many discards, so you don't always have something to force your opponent to discard with, then they have cards in hand. I don't know. I think it's too conditional of a thing.
It's very
it
it is incredibly conditional. Do you think if it turns out that this actually starts to see play, discard works how we all who are into it want it to. Could you see the discard deck running the Queen just as a backup plan for this? Even though the Queen herself doesn't particularly care about discard?
Yep. I think there's enough just good Emerald plus whatever other color you want to play cards. Really, just like, because I mean, you really only care about cards with Emerald. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I see the opposite. If discard doesn't start to do very well, they probably shift to Queen first and like try to still make discard work by keeping Flynn in the deck and like keeping discard stuff. Maybe that's what you just said. I don't know. I'm confusing myself.
Kind of, yeah. Like Sunscorch says there, it's easy to just play hands. And that's the thing, right? There is a 4-costed 3/3 for 3 lore that will always quest for 3. This card's probably a bit of a trap. In my head, this works every single time, and I quest for 4 on turn 2.
Yeah, okay.
Like it's impossible.
But... Oh yeah, that was another thing. I think even if your opponent takes the play, and they ink every turn and play a card every turn, on your turn 4, they have 2 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Assuming they only do ink and play 1 card, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
And then there's not another way for those cards to get out of their hand, I think, unless you play unless you play You've Forgotten Me on 4, but then you're not playing Flynn Rider. So like it's also just a pretty slow card.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I suppose his shift is cheap enough. I think the idea more is that you can you're playing discard and this kind of sits dead in your hand until you get the empty, and then you can throw him out quick and quest a 4, and that's not great. So I don't know. I want him to be great, but I don't think he is.
I wanted Flynn Rider to be great. Yeah.
We're going backwards. Let's go forwards. Next up.
Okay. Next, we have an Gaston, Scheming Suitor, Inkable 2 cost, 1 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore. His ability, yes, I'm intimidating. While 1 or more opponents have no cards in their hands, this character gets +3 strength. Again, it's a +3 strength card, or +X strength card, so...
4/3 on 2, but it's not going to happen. Again, for the same reason, like it's literally the same thing that the last card wanted to do, and a much worse payoff if you do it.
Yeah.
So... maybe just the shift target in Emerald, Sapphire, Floodborn matters for the bigger Gaston.
Maybe.
But I don't even know if the Sapphire Gaston's going to see much play, honestly.
Yeah. So it's okay.
It's okay, yeah. I don't think it's worth playing this in the deck to make it any better. 6-costed Inkable, 6/6 for 2 lore, Little John, Loyal Friend. Big old vanilla.
Yep.
All right. On the next one. 2-costed Inkable, 1/4 for 1 lore. Pain, Underworld Imp, Storyborn Ally. Coming your most lugubriousness. Whilst this character has 5 strength or more, he gets +2 lore. This one I actually think is quite interesting.
Okay.
Because it's not difficult. Panic does it. Panic gets him to the 5.
Yep.
So I don't think that's a terrible 2-card combo. And I quite like the fact that if you've got Pain out, next turn Panic, and then he's either a 5/4, which is pretty good stats, or he quests for 3. I don't mind this.
I don't mind it either. I think there's actually a Ruby Emerald deck they can kind of play around this mechanic, because we'll see Pete probably soon that has a very similar ability, and this was a combo that I missed, but I caught, I think, in one of your YouTube comments that Emerald and Ruby both have a lot of pretty cheap action cards that increase strength.
Yeah.
And so like it wouldn't be too difficult to build a deck around that strategy and make cards like, Pain work and get 5 strength fairly easily to quest.
Yeah, without having to hit the panic.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with Pete especially, his is like when you play an action, he gets +2 strength. So if you play an action that gives him +2 strength, it's +4 strength. You get those numbers get pretty big pretty quickly. And then maybe that's the deck that sees the action matters stuff of like Minnie Mouse Diver and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Just as like, and you're not necessarily really leaning into the action matters stuff. It's just like a extra bonus type thing, Panic could bounce. Yeah, because Panic's on play, right? So you've either got to be bouncing Panic, or like you say, be looking at using other. He should, if he was villain, would that help? Isn't one of the combat tricks from set 1 villains get?
Yeah. It's the
Vicious Betrayal.
Vicious Betrayal.
Yeah. Is it 4 though?
It's +2 and then +3 for villain, I think.
So even that doesn't quite get you there, even if he was a villain anyway. Yeah. Pain and Panic remind me a lot of Flotsam and Jetsam in that I think the two of them look really good fun together. But I don't know what the rest of the deck looks like. But I think you're right in that it's probably Emerald Ruby actions matter. That's kind of like a sub sort of strength increase stuff. So. All right. Talking about Pete. I read that one, so go ahead.
Pete's an inkable 5-cost card, 3 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore with Ward. Storyborn villain has 2 abilities. Take that. Whenever you play an action, this character gets +2 strength this lore. And then who's next? While this character has 7 strength or more, he gets +2 lore. I like this card as a build around. Like, I think it'll be a fun, if nothing else, it'll be a really fun deck to try to build around and play casually or multiplayer or whatever.
Yeah. I think he's good fun as well. Unfortunately, even though he is villain, Vicious Betrayal doesn't quite get you there, which is irritating. Must be a conscious decision, that, I feel.
It does?
Well, Vicious Betrayal.
You play Vicious Betrayal, he gets 3.
Oh, and because he gets 2 from the ability.
Yeah.
Vicious Betrayal is playable. Who knew?
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think one of the worst cards in set 1.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Suddenly becomes interesting now. Huh.
Weird how that happens.
Floodborn Queen gets him there in 1, and she's a villain.
Yeah.
So is there an Amber Emerald villains package that now runs Vicious Betrayal?
I've seen people brewing a Amber Emerald villains with Hades as well.
People are
so fun, dude. There's so many new decks to try out and have fun with now.
And even if they are just like fun to mess around with and not necessarily strong. That's the thing though. I mean, I was talking to First 20 on Twitter about it today, actually. Like, I don't really play digitally, honestly. So like, I'll start putting stuff together when I open a box in a few days, Yeah. But by then the meta's solved.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's people that are I was laughing because I saw pictures today of people already printing proxies at like 8 in the morning, and I'm like, this set comes out in 5 days.
Like
I can't be bothered to make proxies of everything.
Yeah, I'm playing him in blue green with all the cantrips. Yeah, I want to play around with this guy. I think that's good fun.
Yeah,
I think Emerald Amber villains could be fun. And then this is just like an alternate wing con in there almost,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm excited actually about that. Talking of which, another one here. Forecasted inkable 4/1 for 2 lore, Radigan, Criminal Mastermind, Dreamborn Villain, Evasive. I don't think this is a terrible common, honestly. Like, the 1 is pretty rough, dies to any kind of pinging or anything, but otherwise I don't think this is awful.
Yeah, it's not the worst. Obviously, the worst part is the low willpower, like you said. But I see cards like this, and you're kind of happy to see such a high strength, because if you are going up against another evasive or another deck that runs any evasive characters, at the very least, you're happy to have this so that you can counter their evasive character. Yeah,
it kills quite a bit, right? For that reason alone, I think it might see a little bit of play, but. I want to just go back a sec. Sorry, I know I keep doing this, but chat's like 30 seconds behind us. So, first of 20 says regarding Pete, I like pumping him up with the 1-drop blue cards, getting him big, questing with him for 4 lore, then passing his power to Alice with support to also quest for a ton. I don't think that's how it works. I think support only uses the printed strength.
No.
Yeah, because it's come up. We talked about this.
Are you sure?
I need my phone. It's on an errata. It's on. You can look at it on the app. Support only uses printed strength, not the strength they are when they quest.
Really?
I'm gonna get my phone. Hold on. Work the room a minute.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, because I was under the impression that it was whatever you buffed your stuff with, mainly because I'm almost certain I can use a support character to give another character support, and that new character has plus X support, and I can use that support character to give its new strength from the other support character to a third character and just transfer all the support stuff rather than having to use all of the characters to put support on one thing.
I mean, it's no difference, right?
Yeah, but it's the same though, because it's not the printed.
Yeah, but the same thing has happened. Like, they're all quested. They've all the numbers have gone to the one thing. It doesn't matter which order you do it in.
No. I'm saying that I was under the impression, I get what you're saying, that like it's essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was under the impression that mechanically, if for some reason you wanted to say that that's what happened, that you supported one thing and then that thing supported another thing and that thing supported another thing,
Mm-hmm.
all of the strength carries over to the last thing instead of having to say these 5 characters quest and they all support this one thing. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It's the exact same.
I know it's the exact same,
Yeah.
but I thought that like if it's ruled that way,
Yeah.
that I can take character 1, support character 2, and then use character 2 to support character 3. You're using the transferred strength. You're not using the printed strength.
Not his lore pips. I'm not talking about lore versus 20. Give me a sec. My phone was literally dead before, so it's turned on now. I've got the app open. Hold on. Okay, so you've got a 0-2.
Yeah.
Right? And you've got a 2-2 and a 2-2 and a 2-2. And they've all got support. The 2-2 quests and supports this guy, making him a 4-2. The 4-2 quests, making this guy a 6-2. The 6-2 quests, making this guy a 6-2 because he was 0, right?
Yeah.
Or all the 2-2's quests, making this guy a 6-2.
Yes.
So I don't understand what the difference is.
Okay, so earlier you were saying that you don't use support with the added strength.
Mm-hmm.
It's the printed strength.
Yes.
So if with all your 2-2s, if you quest 2 of them and you have a 6-2, but he's only a 6-2 because he was given 4 strength and he's printed as a 2-2, then you couldn't use that 6-2 to use support and give your 0-2 6-2.
No,
it would only be 2-2.
It would be a 2. And now, annoyingly, it's not on the Hey Errata. So where did I see that? I swear I've read it, and I apologize if I can't find it, but I swear it was on one of the support cards erratas. Let me have a look. Merlin, maybe? More info? No, that's just another chosen.
Honestly, I'm going to be pretty disappointed if that's how it works.
Where is it? What card was it?
Steve, if you're in the chat, now would be a great time to speak up, brother.
To jump up out of nowhere. I'm literally going through every card that says support now to find it. Yeah, it's very interesting. Otherwise, very interesting. Yeah, I'm sure I read it, and I'm sure I read a screenshot of the app that said support only works it only supports the printed strength, not the strength the cards can gain from other sources. But now I can't find it, and I look like a filthy liar.
Well, I mean, there's no rule that says it works one way or the other, so
yeah,
that doesn't make you a liar. Just means we don't know.
I would assume they stack. Yeah, I mean, of course you would assume they stack, right? Because that's fun. And normally to be fair, normally the game does let you do the thing that's fun.
That's what I like. That's what was intuitive to me. Not that everything that I've thought was intuitive in this game was the way it worked, but most of the time, the way I assumed something to work is how it worked. Yeah, I agree with first to 20. I believe you. If you're right, I just would love to see that.
You believe
ruling.
I think I saw it.
Yeah.
Is this it?
There's no rule that says dogs can't play Lorcana.
This is true.
I suppose so.
I'll have to try and find that. So maybe ignore me. I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be really great to combo with Pete and Alice.
Oh, no, yeah, because then...
works.
Yeah, so then that would mean that the double Alice combo doesn't work, right? If you get one Alice up to 10 through support, you can't use her to give the other Alice 10.
Maybe that's where I saw it. But that won't be on the app already, will it? I can't imagine.
No, it would be in the giant Discord card chat where you'll never find.
I can't imagine the Alice has already got errata on here.
Shout out to Heath, be our guest, for bringing that up. I think. Oh wait, no, he said something else. It was Jeff. Yeah, Jeff with the 2 Alice thing.
Yeah. I'll keep looking.
Also,
at it,
shout out to Heath, be our guest.
Anyway, cool. Yes.
Anyway, we don't know how this works at all.
No idea. This could be crap, could be brilliant. Moving on.
Okay, moving on. We have an uninkable 3 cost. The Queen Disguised Peddler. 2 strength, 3 willpower. Storyborn villain queen with the ability of perfect disguise. Exert, choose and discard a character card. Gain lore equal to the discarded character's lore. I think this is super fun card.
The fun is a good word for it, I think. I'm not sure how strong it is, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's slow in that it doesn't do something the turn it's played, but it feels like magnet removal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. But that, Smash kills it. I mean, I know Dice to Smash is a meme, but like, I don't know.
That's true.
These could be... I was trying to think of what the ceiling and the floor of this is. The ceiling of this is you maybe get to do it twice and you've got 2 4 lore characters in your hand, right? And it gains you 8 ink. That's pretty good.
Yes.
The floor is that it's just does nothing because you haven't got anything else in your hand.
Yeah.
Like it can't even quest for 1 itself, right?
Right. It's just a character on board.
Yeah, and this was the target.
Well, no.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing you'd want to play with Flynn.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But it's possibly the most interesting card. Combo this Ruby with effects to restand it. Yeah, 100%. You burn through your hand for a bit of lore.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the game plan is you run as many high lore characters as possible, and the game doesn't have to last very long.
No, and then you don't draw a queen in your first 15 cards. Like I said, do you know what I mean? I'm just trying to think of the the worst options with this. I do think it's a really fun card and a really interesting build around. But if you can just keep your hand filled with big stuff, I think it's probably an Emerald Steel deck because Steel's got a lot of big lore hitters that you probably won't play anyway, and it's got like Whole New World.
This makes Goofy playable.
I mean it does really. You'd throw Goofies all day long into this, right? Like,
yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Inkable 4 lore.
Yeah. I don't know.
Why not?
Maybe. We'll see. I have a question about 4 lore Flynn Rider. If he's not in play, does he have 4 lore flips for the purpose of the Queen? Yes, as far as we're aware. I think that might have been confirmed, actually. Yes, that wasn't
confirmed.
it?
Yeah.
So, she's just looking at the number of pips printed. Ignores the rest, if you don't draw a Queen, you use those high lore characters to quest. But they're 9 drops or 10 drops or whatever.
Not all of them. You run 3 lore characters like the next one. The next
like
character.
The next one. Whoop.
Yeah.
5-cost Inkable, 5/3 for 3. Tiana. Yeah, I guess she goes in there, doesn't she? Really?
And you have Hans on 4.
Yeah.
3 lore.
So if they're not doing anything to the board, you play them. But if you can tell that they're gonna try and blow up the board constantly, you just ink them with the queen. I don't know.
I don't know. I think you just throw them for fun.
Yeah.
Play as many queens as possible, and you just throw your hand into the discard.
throw them up in the air and see what happens. Just 3 queens on board, and you're top decking a lantern. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Cool art on this Tiana, eh?
Yeah, beautiful art. They've done Tiana so well in all of her cards.
Yeah, I don't know if any of them are particularly strong. But the art.
Yeah, I probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Princess and the Frog. So happy to see pretty Tiana cards.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Next, we have an uninkable 3-cost card, Radigan's Marvelous Trap, an item card, Snap Boom Twang. Banish this item. Each opponent loses 2 lore. Meh.
Yeah, I mean the guys on the Lorcana cast did such a good job trying to make this sound playable.
Yeah, I felt bad because I responded to them on Twitter for something about the card reveal, and they were like, "Oh, will you play this in your deck?" And I was like,
"No,
probably not. I'm sorry."
No. Sorry. 3-cost Inkable, 4/3 for 1 lore. Blue, Fun Loving Bear. I feel like they did the Jungle Book stuff all a bit of a dirty, honestly. I think Lashir Khan is probably the only real good one. King Louis may be alright, but yeah.
Oh yeah, King Louis probably.
Yeah, I'd like to see more Jungle Book stuff. Maybe this will be a shift for a good Floodborn Ruby next set or something.
Blue Panda Bear or something.
Who?
Blue Panda Bear.
Panda Bear, sure. Yeah. Oh man, imagine if they did like a Tailspin. Are you a little young for Tailspin? You might not remember Tailspin. It was like a Disney Saturday morning cartoon with the characters from Jungle Book, but they flew airplanes. Blue was a pilot, and it was a canonical sequel to Jungle Book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, suddenly just grew opposable thumbs and got his pilot's license. So maybe we'll see a better Baloo, but right now, Go ahead.
Yep. Same thing with this next one. Inkable 2-cost boon, Precautious, an Entrepreneur, 2 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore, vanilla. Isn't this just Donald?
Yeah, it's a weird one as well, Boon. Like weird weird choice of a character just to squeeze in. But I guess with these sort of characters, I was thinking this with Tiana's parents as well. Like it's nice that they've included them, but I don't know if you really want to waste abilities on them.
Right, yeah.
Jonti just got confirmation on the support thing. Apparently there was an article that has misinterpreted information as has since been corrected, so you can pump and support. There you go.
Yes.
I must have read the article.
Let's go.
Before it was that's really good. Would you mind sharing that with us on Twitter or something? I'd love to read that back and see how I read it wrong, or see what they've changed it to now at least.
Sunscorch, I apologize for the mispronunciations, but I'm horrible with names, so get used to it. That's all I can say.
Long O, but how did you pronounce it?
Precautious, maybe.
Oh, that was sorry. I would say Boone is Boone.
I have no idea.
I didn't realize he was on about.
What...
It's precocious.
I still don't know what that word is. But
it's
sure.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it may seem quite precocious.
I wouldn't.
It rhymes with supercalifragilisticexpialidocious because it's the next line of the song. That's the reason I really know.
You're really good at that, by the way. Explaining how words are pronounced, based off of I pronounce other words.
Yeah, it's a weird party trick. But yeah, he's the boisterous fowl, right? Is it boisterous fowl? These need to be in their draft chaff. It's fine. Don't start with the basil, blissful peacock. Oh, we're talking to Donald Duck.
Razzle, dazzle, basil. Okay,
Razzle,
sorry.
dazzle,
Go
basil.
ahead.
5 costed inkable, 1/5 for 1 lore. Donald Duck, not again. Dreamborn hero, evasive, and Fooey. When this character gets +1 lore for each damage on him. I kind of dig
this card.
Yeah, I kind of dig this
card. I'm so happy we see a card with like major payoff for being damaged. Yeah. I wanted that so bad.
Yeah. The 1 is kind of sucky, but you know.
I'm never challenging with him anyway.
No, are you just gonna like quest with him for 1 and then hope they try and kill it? Because why would they? What are you hoping? Are you gonna hit it yourself with Smash?
Yeah. Well, either hit it with Smash or hit it with Ruby Scar. Deal 2 damage to yourself. Deal 2 damage to something else.
Teeth and tits. What is it? What's it called?
I don't remember, but those are not the lyrics for that song.
The teeth song.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah, it's good for each one on him. 4 damage. You're getting down to a 1/1 and quest for 4. It's pretty good. Everything kills past getting there. Yeah, you're right. Can you get more than 4 damage on this die? We don't. You rarely see.
No, you can't. Actually.
Is there anything that? There isn't really anything that boosts willpower, is there? I don't think.
Not that I can think of right now.
It's
usually plus or minus strength.
Teeth and ambition. Thank you, Heath. Yeah, it's always strength, and maybe that's why. Maybe because they know that because of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, because then this would be really good.
Very broken. Bump his willpower enough. So here's the thing then. We haven't seen it yet, but hypothetically, this is a 1/5 with 3 damage on it. Now, I've just answered myself saying that sentence. If you gave it 5 more willpower, would it be a 1/7 or would it be a 1/2?
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
I think
does the damage come off, or does it just gain max willpower?
Yeah. Does the willpower like a cup that gets filled up? But damage is.
Their damage
tokens.
counters.
Yeah, their counters on it, right? So they would move up with the willpower. So ignore me, because I was going to say, would that be good if you could damage this easily and then boost it right up, and therefore the damage is higher? But no, it wouldn't work that way, would it? Trying to break the game. If Teeth and Ambitions, he essentially becomes a 1/3 that quests for 3. That's true, and then there's just Ray.
Yeah,
that's like
Ray is just better.
3/3 that's just 3. I don't know. I
kind
of want to make these cards work.
Yeah, I want to play the self damage deck.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
be quiet. First to 20.
Stop! Get out of here with your logic. Oops. Come back again. There we go. Next up.
Okay. Next up is an inkable 1 cost. Felicia. Is it Felicia or just Felicia or Felicia?
I would say Felicia.
I don't know this. Okay. Felicia, always hungry. 3 strength, 1 willpower with reckless. I really like this card. As a 1-drop with 3 strength, I think it's pretty good.
I think I said in my video, I think reckless gets better the smaller the thing is, actually.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
You're just much more happy throwing it into stuff. So yeah, I feel like this might even see a bit of play, actually.
Yeah. I do too. Honest, if Gaston saw play, I think this will see play.
And Gaston is like the first thing I'm looking at taking out of my Ruby Amber package, honestly. Like he'd be the first, because a lot of the time I'm not getting the value out of him as much as I want to. Although it is quite neat to like sometimes somebody will quest something to be like, oh no, your Gaston has to hit it, and I just sing Party of World with him or something. Like that is quite satisfying. But it doesn't really get me any closer to winning, so I don't know. I want to live in Magical Christmas Land too. I am fully moved in and a resident of Magical Christmas Land. 6 costed, uninkable, 3/4 for 2 lore. Lady Tremaine, Imperious Queen, Floodborn Villain, Queen, shift 4, and power to rule at last. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and banishes one of their characters. Just absolute. This is fantastic.
Really good.
It sucks that she doesn't have a good shift target, but I genuinely think
I don't think she needs it.
I'm happy with her coming down on 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. heading out. Cheers, Heath. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. Enjoy your cruise. Aren't you on a cruise right now? I've just realised as I said goodbye to you. I'm pretty sure Heath is on a cruise.
If he's on a cruise right now, shout out to, yeah, what are you doing, bud? Have some fun.
You can sing to avoid Reckless. You can, Luke. Yes, Reckless only checks by the end of the turn whether you have challenged if able. So you can sing, you can exert it to do other stuff that allows it, obviously. No, she's great. I think I can play her on 6 all day long. I kind of wish she had a better shift target. I kind of wish she wasn't uninkable, but this is good. Yeah.
Yep.
12th rule of villainy. You're right. It is another rule of villainy.
Yes.
We have like 4 or 5 of those now.
Yeah, we don't have all of them.
Yeah.
But I love seeing those. I'm very eager to see what all of them end up being.
There was a really good point that somebody was like, there's probably 13, and they'll eventually fill them out, and because 13 is like the evil number or whatever. Somebody else said that maybe just all the villains are so like preoccupied with themselves that they just keep adding them.
They just never stop.
The 254th rule of villainy.
Honestly, I'm happy to see it because I'd love to eventually just collect every card that has a rule of villainy, and like, I don't know, you could do something cool.
Yeah, it would look cool. It would look awesome. But yeah, no, I think this is great. It's very playable. I think she goes into all sorts of stuff. Go ahead.
Next is Mother Gothel, Withered and Wicked, inkable 2 cost for 3 strength, 4 willpower, 1 lore, storyborn villain with the ability What Have You Done? This character enters play with 3 damage. I like her.
Yeah, I do, and I feel like it might be a little bit of a trap again, just because of how thematic it is with Rapunzel. But I kind of love that she either comes out on turn 3, trades up, or sits there and is the perfect target for Rapunzel's heal on turn 4. Like she does either or and does them both quite well, but still might be just a little bit of a trap because of how neat that is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think she, like, I really only plan to play her in a Ruby might like damage my stuff deck. Mainly.
Yeah, I have a Ruby Amber that wants to heal it, or like that Dinner Bell. She goes well with the Dinner Bell, right, in Ruby.
Yes, that too.
It really thematically good card. Whether or not it's necessarily like super strong, I'm not too sure. I know. Turn 1 you lost me at turn 1 flower. Sorry. 4-costed, uninkable, 3/3 for 1 lore, Namari. Nemesis, Storyborn Villain Princess. This shouldn't take long. You can exert this. Banish this character. Banish chosen character. This is a super rare. What the fuck is going on with this card?
This is kind of a wild card to me. I look at this card and I'm just like, why am I just not playing Dragonfire? I feel like I say that all the time, but I'm just like, it's only as fast as Dragonfire with more risk, essentially. Yeah. And the only upside is you have a body that you can quest for 1 if you don't need to banish something.
Yeah, I think this is really quite bad. And I didn't enjoy the Namari steal. But this is worse. They obviously have a problem with Namari because I don't think she got. I'm not sure any nothing. None of the rare and the Draft Dragon cards. Maybe probably that Sisu, but none of the other ones really particularly.
They're very good.
Yeah, I didn't. This is awful. This is an awful card. I want one of these for my binder, and I never want to see it again.
I was about to say this is the Taka of this set.
Yeah, I think so. Stop giving us bad super rares to make the other super rares better.
In Ruby,
they're already rare.
Quit giving Ruby bad cards, please.
I think Steel has as well. I still don't think we have a. Oh, do I say it? Do I say it live while people are watching? I don't think we have a good Steel legendary yet.
Now I have to think of what the legendaries are.
I'll let you all think on it. And the fact that you can't go, well, no, of course there's ...
Yeah, you're probably right. My point. Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
This could be really good to keep looping with Snow White. No, this is a bad card.
Now.
Don't play this card. Don't play this card. We'll move on.
Next is
Sorry,
Queen
Brandon's
of
still
Heart.
thinking about all the steel,
Yeah,
all the 4 steel
no,
legendaries there is, and he can't think of a good one.
I can't. I'm looking it up now.
You
What are the legend? Lorcana is not working.
guys are
Has
going to
Chad already
reevaluate
said
that
it?
card in the future. We'll see.
Come on, Lorcana. Get
The
with it.
beast one seems
Oh, the
okay.
beast. I don't even
It's the
remember what this
best of a
card
bad
does.
bunch, I feel.
Namari. I think legendary Namari is okay.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think she's the worst legendary that we've seen.
I
I don't
think
know if she's
she's.
good.
I don't think she's very good. We haven't got to it yet, have we? We'll talk about her in a minute.
Okay. Anyway, next we have Queen of Hearts, Inkable 5 cost character, or Queen of Hearts, Sensing Weakness, 4 Strength, 3 Willpower, Floodborn Villain Queen, 1 Lore, Shift 2. Let the game begin. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character, you may draw a card. I really like this card. I really like the art. It goes right into that like Ruby challenge stuff deck. Comes down pretty early. Can come down as early as turn 3.
Yeah, she doesn't have a 1 cost, right? So turn 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, pretty good card. Like pretty
I
solid
think
card from
she's
Ruby,
good.
I think.
My only slight issue I have with her, I think she's really good. I think she's a really solid uncommon. Actually, I think she as an uncommon is better than the super rare we just looked at, which is why I don't understand how rarities work in this game.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm not quite sure about her is that she's a card that cares about characters challenging, as is Shere Khan. A very similar kind of card. Neither of them want to really challenge themselves. They kind of just want to sit back and be a passive boost to other stuff challenging. So I don't know whether you might get a little bit like they can challenge and they will challenge, but you kind of want I want this to sit there and just let me draw cards while all my other stuff's doing stuff, right?
I think that's a trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you have to. I think Shere Khan, Shere Khan, you're correct. I think you almost never want to challenge with him if possible, because a lot of that deck's probably built around Shere Khan staying on the board, which isn't a great strategy. But anyway, I think you have to be okay with playing Queen of Hearts and throwing her into something and drawing a card,
And then drawing something,
and like banishing something. Yeah,
and maybe she sticks around. A turn, but then she does have that one-sided wording where it's when one of you challenges them, it's not in a challenge. So you have to always be careful to check that, because it can make a big difference, I think. But no, I still think uncommon. She's a great uncommon, very playable. 3-costed. Inkable 2/3 for 1 lore, rare, headstrong, storyborn hero, princess. Note to self: don't die. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may ready this character. She can't quest for the rest of this turn.
I don't like this card.
When all this text says this kills a 2/2, you can ready it. Like, that's basically what it says, right? You can throw this into the Christmas Land Infinite combo to draw your deck. Let me have a look. Whenever one of your characters challenges another character. Yeah, you can. Yeah, but if you were adding a card to make that ridiculous combo even better, you're gonna add Shere Khan to make you win. Like, I would rather win than draw.
That would be a fun. Like, we'll just see what happens first.
Yeah, which one? Where do I get to first? Do I count to 20 first or draw? I hope I count to 20 first before drawing my deck.
That's the thing. The combo is so extensive. You might you might be digging for it.
This kills 2/2s. Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that's good enough. Never mind.
I don't either. Next. Next is an Inkable 6-cost Raya, Leader of Heart, 5 Strength, 3 Willpower, 2 Lore, Floodborn Hero Princess, Shift 4, Champion of Kamandra. Whenever this character challenges a damaged character, she takes no damage from the challenge. This is an interesting card. I think when I first saw her, I didn't love her. But now that I see more, like, again, this Ruby challenge support stuff, I kind of like the card a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think the only thing I don't like about this is that 3 on the butt. Like that, that's it.
Yeah, well, all of these have 3 on the butt.
Yeah, if that was any bigger, she'd be so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people are saying that we can draw into the sheer card. This is true. I
Oh
wish she
yeah.
was safe from the crackback. Yeah, and that's it, right? Like she isn't.
Mm-hmm.
But she's 2-for-1 in, and that's not terrible. God, every Ruby deck out
No.
there plays Maui, and Maui 2-for-1s all day long, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe that's okay. Yeah, I don't mind her, and I suppose you are playing that 3-costed one because you need something to throw her onto on 4, I guess. Don't love that
Yeah.
though.
But when you say that, I mean, I guess she can quest, but like, what's the point
Yeah,
if she's supposed to be challenging? And at that point, I probably do just play Maui instead.
yeah. I don't hate her. She's not quite as good as she could be. They need to dial up the Raya and the Last Dragon stuff a little bit, I think. Oh, they need to really dial this next one up. the 4-costed uninkable 4/5 piece of shit.
Might as well be.
Tuk reckless. This is awful.
Yeah, I don't ever see. Yeah, I'm sad if I see this in my booster pack.
Oh, this is the next one. Is it? I just remember saying like you open your booster pack and it's like a Takai and a Gantu or something, and this is it.
Yeah.
You're pulling tuk-tuks for days.
yeah. This is the one that gets overprinted, and you see more than all the others.
Yeah, you know it, and you're like, oh, what if Ravensburger got it in for us? Maybe it just makes other red cards look awful. Maybe, but I don't know what would make this better. Tuk-Tuk's such a cool character as well. Reckless.
I've actually never watched the movie.
It's really good. Tuk-Tuk's really good in it as well. Like, he's a really fun character, but yeah. And honestly, it's flavorful. He's a big thing that just rolls in. It's a really well suited card for him. But yeah, unplayable.
Reckless
I think
bad.
it is. Go ahead.
Yeah. Next is Go the Distance, an inkable 2-cost action song. Ready chosen damaged character of yours. They can't quest for the rest of the turn. Draw a card. I mean, not the worst. It's a song.
No. So what's this doing that Fan the Flames isn't? So Fan the Flames, they don't have to be damaged.
Drawing a card.
But this draws a card, right?
Yeah.
So this is caveated, but you get to draw.
And it's a song. I don't think Fan the Flames is a song.
No, Fan the Flames isn't a song, actually. So exert something to ready something as long as it's been hit. I think there's at the moment, like there is. You're right. There's a Ruby deck that cares about hitting stuff, and this could see play in that. At the minute, the only thing I could possibly think I'd want to use this on is Heroic Outlaw.
Oh yeah.
But like again, it's almost one of the few things that Fan the Flames wants to go on to. But I think there's a lot more stuff coming that this will go nicely into, honestly. But that Raya probably wouldn't hate this.
There's a couple steel cards from the first chapter that said like this uninkable Simba card that you challenge something and gain a lore if it banishes something.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple cards that are kind of like Aladdin, but they were just a little worse.
Probably
actually fit into this deck.
The Steel Takar was that.
Steel Takar
was just a better one of those Simbas, right? Ready a bodyguard. Why would I want to ready a bodyguard? Rather just play LeFou. Yeah. And LeFou, again, LeFou, because I play LeFou and quite like LeFou. I think any of these kind of abilities that are just also on a character coming into play, like I just play the character. Like,
well, I don't hate both, like LeFou and this, because you play LeFou, you ready something, and then you sing with LeFou next turn to play this, and you draw a card, you ready your character again. Like theoretically, you're getting 4 swings off of that in 2 turns with whatever it is you're trying, you wanting to swing with.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure it's great. I can't remember who read that one.
I did. You go.
2-costed inkable action song, teeth and tits. Yeah, teeth and ambition. A rare card. Deal 2 damage to chosen character of yours to deal 2 damage to another chosen character. I think this is pretty cool.
I think this is a very good card.
Yeah, I think this goes into that Ruby deck that likes getting hit. I like this. I think this is playable.
Me too.
I think it's singable. You can sing and then damage the thing that's sung if you really want to.
A lot of synergy with heal or with characters that want to be damaged.
Yeah, I think this probably sees playing both Ruby Amber and Ruby Steel. Yeah, it's good. Next up.
Next is Uninkable 3 cost, the most diabolical scheme, action song. Banish chosen villain of yours to banish chosen character. Right now, I don't think this card's very good. I can see a future where it's okay, but right now I don't think it's very good.
So you are much more optimistic about it than I am.
I know.
I think this card is absolutely terrible.
I know you do.
The only thing I like, the only word I like on this card is song. That's the only, I feel like it's the only thing it's got going for it. I can't. Even a deck of the best ever villains that have all done their thing once they get played and then they're useless, I still wouldn't play this.
I think the moment we see cards that either care about being banished or being in the discard, this card gets much better.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't see it now, though. Ruby has a whole line of uninkable removal cards from 3 up to 7. Yeah, I think so, pretty much now. Ruby has quite a lot of uninkable. I know it's a bit of a meme that Emerald does, but Ruby's up there, man. Yeah. If there's more purple villains that do something when they die, like Goat, then yes, Goat's not a villain.
Yeah.
Goat's the goat.
Goat's the
goat guy. Go ahead.
Next is What Did You Call Me? An inkable 1 cost action card. Chosen damaged character gets +3 this turn. I don't see this getting play until outside of the Ruby Emerald deck that's trying to buff Pete, and what's the other one? Or maybe Alice. But even then,
I nearly passed out from another card that just puts strength on stuff. I know. Do you know the thing is though? Is like we got some good payoffs for it. But it still really bores me.
Yeah, it's still not great. Yeah.
Can this double banish your character? Banish chosen villain of yours to banish chosen character. It doesn't say another, but I don't know. It's saying effects like I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Stuff that benefits leaving the board, but it needs to be a villain. Yeah, all right. It's combat trick. It's trash. It'll be the last thing you take in a draft pack.
Yep.
2 cost inkable action song. You can fly. Chosen character gains evasive until the start of your next turn. I don't think this is very good.
Okay.
Do you?
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's worth playing.
Do you know what? It's like evasive. It could sometimes really help. Occasionally, that Tinkerbell that gives evasive when it comes down is useful, but it's not worth a slot in a deck. I don't think.
Yeah.
It's just all of this Ruby stuff is trash too.
Right. Next is Peter Pan's Dagger, uninkable 2 cost item. Your characters with evasive get +1 strength. Who cares?
It's just words on a card in it.
Yeah.
Your characters get something. All right, let's get back into it now. We're into Sapphire. We're in the home stretch.
Okay.
3 costed. It's niche. You spelt bad wrong. It's bad. 3 costed inkable. 1/4 for 1 lore for now. Alice, growing girl, Dreamborn hero. Good advice. Your other characters gain support. And what did I do? Well, this character has 10 strength or more. She gets +4 lore. Ooh-wee. This is great.
Legendary card if I ever saw one.
She's an absolute build around. I feel like she's much more achievable than Belle from set 1, Strange but Special, that had a similar kind of build around. She cared about items. Did she?
No, it was ink.
Ink. She cared about ink in the ink
little.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. The little Belle cared about
items.
The
little one cared about items. Yes, she cared about ink, which also was very doable. but I feel like you were just inking to get to her, whereas here you're just developing a good board state, and she's a payoff for it as well. So you're getting the best of both worlds here, really. I think what's interesting here is that you don't want to play this with anything that says support on it, really, because like she has her own build around, and that was similar to Belle as well. Belle, and not very often you get that with cards where they're the payoff and the engine for the payoff on the same card, right? Whereas Belle was like, you can ink more, and once you have, here's the payoff, and she's the exact same. Give things strength to her, and here's how you do it. So I think that's why she's pretty strong. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about her?
I think you play her mainly for the support more than the payoff, because I think similar to Belle, it's kind of a win more thing. There's a couple combos that, you can use 1 or 2 characters to get her all the way up to 10 strength. But I think generally if you have enough characters on board or strength on board to get her to 10 strength, you're at an okay board state at the very least, if not a good board state. And I think the difference between her and Belle is Alice can be really impactful by just hitting the board, whereas Belle, it was impactful in that you get an extra ink, but didn't do much else.
Yeah.
And at the very least, you can surprise your opponent with favorable trades.
Yeah, the good advice
Alice.
bit kicks off as soon as she lands, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think is good. And then, after those favorable trades, you're even more likely to be able to get Alice to 10 strength because of your stuff on board. So, like you said, build around card. I'm excited to play and test with this card. Great synergy with the Floodborn Queen. It's part of what I'm really excited to play with.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
She's great. 3 costed on Inkable. It's insane. Very strong, I think. Next up.
Yep. Next is another Inkable 3 cost. Caterpillar, Calm and Collected with 1 strength, 3 willpower, and 3 lore. Vanilla.
Yeah, this is what it is. I mean, that's pretty 3 lore for 3s. Do we have that already?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we do. I think that might be actually really well statted.
I think it sees play in a super aggressive, Sapphire Emerald deck, maybe.
Something to do while you're ramping up to the bigger stuff, maybe, I don't know. But then it's the same slot as Detective Mickey. But
I think the high 5 deck, where you really don't even have to ramp.
maybe the high 5 deck maybe it's good in there. Playing an instrument rather than on the hookah pipe. It's good, eh? 2 costed Inkable 1/2 for 2 lore. Duke Weaselton, small time crook. He has ward. Sure.
Yeah.
Next. I don't know what I got to say about it, right? It's cool.
I'd like the best thing is it has wards, so it can sing 2 cost songs without fear of dying. That's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
Next is an uninkable 4 cost card. James, role model, 3 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore. Never ever lose sight. When this character is banished, you may put this card into your inkwell face down and exerted. I don't love this card. I think there's better ways to ramp.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you're playing this in a ramp deck, you're already playing Detective Mickey, and Detective Mickey skips you past this.
Right.
So maybe you play this and it's also there, but
it's by the time I have 4 ink and I'm playing this, I should be ramping faster than this.
Yeah,
probably.
or I want something that's more impactful coming down on 4 as well, I think.
Yeah.
That is what it is. Next up, this one is interesting, I think. A 1-costed Inkable 1/2 for 1 lore. Jasmine, Heir of Agrabah. Storyborn hero Princess. I'm a fast learner. When you play this character, remove up to 1 damage from chosen character of yours. A little body that does a little heal, sure. The reason I'm interested in this one is because it makes the Floodborn Jasmine playable from set 1. Because she didn't have a great target beforehand. And now she does.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's directly synergistic in the Sapphire Grand Pabby heal and do good things deck.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. Yeah, because that's the thing is you can come down early and be a good shift for the bigger one, or she's
Or
basically
on
she's
turn 7.
heal one
Yeah.
thing and trigger Pappy. Yeah. No, I think she's really good actually. Yeah. Yeah, I like it a lot. Next up.
Mm-hmm. Next is Nick Wilde,
Sorry,
Wiley
one thing.
Fox.
I'm sorry. I know I keep doing it.
Go
I know
ahead,
I keep doing it.
go
But
ahead.
the change cat. No. First Timon says. First to 20 says Timon, and yeah, it is. It's exactly Timon. Like it's just Timon in Sapphire. But isn't it interesting how just the fact that it's a Jasmine, and just the fact that it's in a color that's a little bit more interested in this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Even though Amber
totally
is
different
healing.
card.
It's amazing how much of a difference it takes. And I actually read this about 3 times and was like, oh, this is really good. It's Jasmine. And then it clicked that it was Timon. I was like, oh, isn't that interesting that Timon is unplayable?
I didn't realize that until you just said it.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah. I genuinely must have read through it 3 times until it clicked that it's the exact same stats as Timon and the same ability and everything. Which I think they've also missed a trick because Jasmine's ability should have been called Tastes Like Chicken. and just forever, anything that comes down and removes the damage should be called Tastes Like Chicken.
Tastes like chicken. That would be funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
Next is Nick Wilde, Wiley Fox, sinkable 4 cost, 2 strength, 4 willpower, 2 lore. Storyborn ally ability, it's called a hustle. When you play this character, you may return an item card named Popsicle from your discard to your hand. I think Popsicle is a pretty good card.
Yeah.
Like one of the best items.
Mm-hmm.
So, whether this card's good enough to pair with it or whether like you just run Popsicle and don't have the room for Nick Wilde, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see this card in a items deck with Tamatoa and Ariel.
I think if you're really leaning into items, he probably does see some play. But I feel like Popsicle probably sees play outside of that deck as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me personally, this could have not said named Popsicle and been the exact same card, and I don't think it would have felt particularly broken. If this just would have been bring an item back, like I feel that's probably okay. Do you agree?
I think that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I think it maybe not strong now, but it opens up future card. Like it opens up to be busted in the future.
I mean, make it a rare.
I still think it's really strong.
Yeah, I don't know. At the minute, I just don't. But you're right. I suppose it's future proofing, but at the minute, I don't. I don't particularly think it would be too broken. But no, I don't mind the Popsicle package altogether. We'll see Popsicle in a moment. I think 2-costed Inkable 1/2 for 2 lore. Noe, Orphaned Thief, Storyborn Ally, Hide and Seek. While you have an item in play, this character gains Resist 1 and Ward. I'm not sure about this one, honestly. I can't get my head around this one.
Yeah, the only thing that I can think of right now is this is a card that inches you a little bit closer in one of those all-in item decks. Mm-hmm. So that when you eventually drop the Tamatoa or you drop the Ariel and try to do the whole combo, you're like slightly closer and you kind of sneak your way close enough that you can get it done where your opponent's not too worried about you. Because she has 2 lore and for a 2 cost, that's pretty good.
Yeah, she's just a good quester, I guess, if there's something on your board. So, Popsicle into Noe, yeah.
Yeah, that too.
That's pretty good, right? Because then she's just a 1/2 is just 1 on ward. Yeah, maybe she's all right. And yeah, the problem with the Tamatoa deck at the moment, at least, I think, is that you're doing very little until you get the Tamatoa out, and then you've got to quickly finish up before everyone piles into you.
Yeah.
So this gives you an earlier sort of lore generator. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Next is a vanilla owl logical lecturer, inkable 1 cost 2/2 for 1 lore.
Yep.
Dragoons.
Don't play this over Flounder, do we?
Nope, never.
Nope. Team Flounder till I die.
Team Flounder.
5 costed inkable, 4/6 for 2. Rabbit. Reluctant Host. Another vanilla. Does this stat line exist already? I'm not sure.
It is 1 less cost and 1 less lore than Simba. Or no, Mufasa and Sapphire already.
Yeah, the 6 costed 4/6 for 3. Right. So
that's the first thing I thought of. Otherwise, I don't think there's a... Yeah.
People are telling me a hidden Mickey.
Better Flounder?
Better Flounder?
Are you guys crazy?
Shut up. Where's the
First
hidden
of 20
Mickey?
is going to get banned.
Oh, yeah, there is a good hidden Mickey on the branch there under his chair. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Rabbit, yeah, all right, whatever. Common.
Okay.
Moving on.
Next is an inkable 4 cost, the Knock, Water Spirit, 4 strength, 3 willpower, 1 lore with ward. French vanilla card.
Takes the award for first time I've had to go and look up a character for Lorcana.
Yeah, I don't know where this is from.
No, it's the Water Spirit from Frozen 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the elemental spirits in the game, in the show, in the film. But
I've
this
never
this is the first time I've had to go and Google it. Every single character that's come up beforehand, I've known who they were, and this was.
I don't know if it's because all of these cards just got dropped, but I didn't even think. I didn't even question where was this card from. I just took it and just moved on.
You just saw that and you were like, oh, it's Harry Potter's Patronus, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's okay now. I was about to ask what movie this from. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's Frozen 2. I'd seen it twice, I think, and yeah, didn't know it. Whatever, card reward, sure. When I look at things like this, I think of Donald Duck and think, well, he's not really seen play, so I can't imagine this will either.
He's seeing a little play, but it's debatable on whether he's worth playing.
3 costed inkable, 2/3 for 2. Winnie the Pooh, having a think. Storyborn hero, Honeypot. Whenever this character quests, you may put a card from your hand into your inkwell face down. You love this, don't you? It's Winnie the Pooh.
I love the art. I love Winnie the Pooh. Love the art. Got so excited when I see it. Even if it's a bad card, I'll cherish this card.
Yeah. I think it's okay.
I don't think it's bad.
I don't know whether it replaces Detective Mickey. I think it might.
See, I don't know. I think it might because, well, maybe not. Because essentially it does the same thing as Mickey, except Mickey's a guaranteed ink. Because you play Mickey, ink comes in exerted. You can't use it till the next turn.
Yeah.
This comes into play. You can put an ink in your inkwell and use it that turn.
Yeah.
But the question is, does he survive long enough for you to do that?
Yeah.
And I think probably.
I think I think you get 1 out of him.
Yeah.
It's just you're getting the ink at the same time as you would Detective Mickey.
Right, but you can, if your opponent doesn't value Pooh enough, multiple.
Sorry, I'm such a child.
He doesn't. I mean, you can get multiple.
Yeah,
off.
that's it. The longer he stays around, the more value you get out of him, right? I had a huge argument with people online last night about this card because somebody asked on Facebook, "Does the card that you ink with this have to be inkable?"
Okay.
Do you know the answer?
I do know the answer. That's why I'm not arguing with you.
Before you knew the answer, did you know the answer?
I didn't pay attention before the answer because I saw so many people arguing over it. I was like, I'm waiting for Steve on this one. I'm not in this fight.
Mickey's not. Yeah, that's right. Mickey's from the top of the deck, actually, which is, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So I guess you need a card in hand.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're different enough. I think I probably prefer this. The stat line's a bit more interesting.
I prefer him because it's Pooh.
And because it's Pooh, yeah.
Have that.
It's not Pooh. It's good. Just changing the wording. Yeah, me neither, honestly. So I feel like this is... Yes, it is Fishbone rules. So it has now been confirmed by Steve Warner that it is the same as Fishbone Quill. It works like Quill. You can play anything you like and you don't have to show it to your opponent. But The card is the same card you draw, though, as Mickey. Huh? Sorry. You two
Oh, yeah.
make a pair. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. We bounce off each other well, I think. We spend 20 minutes off air afterwards ripping into each other.
Yeah, you guys don't want to see the fight after every episode.
But yeah, anyway, briefly, because we've still got to get through the end of this Colour and Steel. It works the exact same way as Fishbone Quill, but Fishbone Quill has a different wording. Fishbone Quill says any card from your hand, and this doesn't, which is why I wanted to have a ruling on it, because if you go by proper sort of TCG rules, that could be a difference. It could mean that you can't play an uninkable, but you can. But everyone's comments was like, well, just read the card. It's like, I've read the card. I've read another card that does the same of this, but it's worded differently. That's why I would like a ruling. That's all.
This will be the last time that I get on the ruling thing, even though I know there's another card coming up that we'll probably talk about it again. But that's why, like, I'm getting to the point where I've stopped caring about what cards say yet, because I'm just like, every one of these arguments for people yelling at each other back and forth, telling each other to just read the card, and it's like, it could be any of these interpretations.
Yes.
No one's winning this argument.
The fact that you
until
all have
we get
a
a
different
ruling.
opinion proves that it's badly worded.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, if we just had the official rules, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Next up.
Yeah, next is an uninkable 3-cost action card. Launch. Banish chosen item of yours to deal 5 damage to chosen character. This is such a fun card, I think. It's like launching the coconut at somebody.
I think it's really interesting for a few reasons. I don't know whether Sapphire really needs this. It would be it's almost hard removal in Sapphire, in a color that pretty much only has throw stuff in the inkwell otherwise, right? But I still don't know whether it needs this. The thing I find most fascinating about this, though, is that it's not from a movie.
Yeah. It's the first confirmed Lorcana lore world thing. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I don't know what to call it, but it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know whether it's any good or not. 3-costed uninkable item in Sapphire. Maurice's Workshop. Looking for this, whenever you play another item, you may pay 1 to draw a card. This one's like obviously a little better. I still don't know whether it sees play in the item deck. I mean, it's an item that cares about items and gives you value for items, so maybe it does, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, you don't... Maurice lets you draw cards, right?
Yeah. I think Maurice is the same, isn't it?
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
Does Maurice let you draw 2 cards or just 1? Because I don't remember.
I just don't know. I just don't play items. I just don't care about items.
I don't either, and I haven't seen him played in so long that I can't remember.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm asking is because I wonder if this is Maurice's ability.
Yeah, I think it might just be Maurice's ability on a stick.
Which I think is
no. Maurice is better. Whenever you play an item, you can draw. There's no pain.
Oh, okay, so it's still draw 1, but
yeah,
it's just whenever you play an item.
This costs you 1 to do it. Yeah.
Okay. I still don't hate this card in an item deck.
Do you know what I don't like about this card? It's not an item.
Yes, it is.
It's a location, and I really feel like that would be a great new card type in the future.
I hope we get locations eventually.
And this is one, and that kind of is a little annoying. Like, in the same way that, like, I feel like it would have been nice to see some sort of, like, equipable weaponry or something, but we've seen swords and shields on items, so I feel like
that probably locks that up. Yeah.
So I'm hoping this, we don't see loads of these, and something like a location could still be a thing later on. But this is not an item; it is a big load of items in a pile.
Yeah, I'm gonna just ignore that and hope that eventually we get locations.
Maybe. And there we go. We've talked about this quite a while already, but a 1-costed inkable item, Popsicle. Jumbo Pop. When you play this item, you draw a card, and that's Redwood. Banish this item, remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. This is fine.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I think you only... Maybe you... No, I don't... do you just play this in items because it's a one-costed item that replaces itself? Or does this see play in something else? I guess it could pop off the Sapphire stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you play it in the heal deck. Sapphire doesn't have great... I mean, it has some draw. Like, technically, Develop Your Brain is probably better than this because you get to see 2 cards before you draw. But it's draw in Sapphire that, I don't know, you also... Like, it's synergistic with the healing stuff, too. Items and healing. So, like, it does everything Sapphire really
wants to do. Yeah, that's it. It's quite... It can have good case. You could use argument for both of them, I think. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. Anything that says draw a card on it, you're going to look at it twice, aren't you?
Right.
That wasn't the last one. Sorry, I thought that was the last one in Sapphire. We've got one more.
Next is Sardine Can. It's an inkable 4-cost item. Your exerted characters gain ward. Good and evasive deck.
Yeah, shuts down any sort of answer, really. But then is there much evasive in this color?
Nope.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Yeah. Rescuers, though, that's cool. I don't think this sees play. I think I'd always play Eye of the Fates over this.
Okay.
As the same costed item.
I can't think of what makes this card good, even though I feel like it could be.
It's got I think it only really goes in like an Amber Sapphire deck that has loads of like big buddied Amber stuff.
Yeah.
That then once is exerted can't be dealt with ward, so it has to try to be challenging to, and it's difficult too. I think that's where it goes, but I still don't think it's very good.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, we're in Steel. 4-costed, inkable, 3/4 Beasts Forbidding Recluse, Dreamborn Hero Prince. You're not welcome here. When you play this character, you may deal 1 damage to chosen character. I think this is okay. I think this goes in the Emerald Steel deck that wants to ping stuff. I think that's probably the only place it fits, but it's not awful.
I'm surprised nothing on the card says anything about Beast being a gargoyle, or that like they chose this to print on a playmat.
I'd love to know how they decide what they're going to print on playmats, because this is good. This is cool art. But there's
I love the art.
There's a lot of really cool art. I'd love to know how they decide. But yeah, this is okay, I think. I kind of wish this one was cheaper and maybe slightly worse statted, and therefore a better shift target for Sad Beast that we're going to see in a minute. That's the only thing I'll say about this guy, because we don't have a good shift target for Sad Beast. But next up
is an inkable 6-cost Beast Selfless Protector, 2 strength, 8 willpower, 1 lore. Storyborn Hero Prince with the ability Shield Another. Whenever one of your other characters would be dealt damage, put that many damage counters on this character instead. Oh boy, has this sparked discussion?
I have no idea how this card works.
Who knows how this card works?
This could be amazing. It could be absolute trash. It's all no. I still think it's okay. It's already a little worse than I thought it was, because we did have one confirmation as how damage works in general, and I don't think it's necessarily a new confirmation. It's just something I missed. But if somebody, like, if you've got a Lilo out, you've got a 1/1 out, and somebody hits her for 5. She takes 5 damage.
5 damage.
Yeah. And that's like, I don't like that.
That makes this a lot worse.
Yeah. But sorry, we should give context. The reason we're saying we don't know how to use this is if something like grab your swords triggers and there's 5 things on the board, and therefore the 2 damage from each goes past this, we don't really know how to resolve it. We have ideas and we have things that make sense, but it's always makes me laugh when somebody writes a tweet that says, "Hey Disney Lorcana," or "Hey Steve Warner," although we shouldn't really tweet Steve, he'll get back to us if he wants to. But you know, somebody tweets something, "Hey Disney Lorcana," "Hey Steve Warner," Could we please have a ruling on how this card works? And then 20 people reply, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, we all know what you think.
Yeah.
We all know what we all think. But that's
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Because the fact that any of us think different to somebody else, that's why we're asking for a ruling. It's not because we don't believe one person or we think personally one person might be right or not. It's the fact that different people can think different things about it is why we're asking for a ruling.
Yep, exactly.
I think all the counters are placed before anything gets banished, period. That's my interpretation and hope. I think you're probably right. The fact that we know that Lilo would take 5 and then get banished.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think everything takes 2. Those 8, say there's 4 things out and Beast is there. Everything takes 2. Those 8 then go to Beast. He takes 10 and dies. Like, that's kind of how I think it will be, but it doesn't matter how we think.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
Why? What do you think?
It doesn't matter. Well, no, I was going to ask because I've seen people make the argument that swords, that Beast says specifically whenever one of your other characters would be dealt damage. Mm-hmm. So does he only take 2, like one of those grab your sword hits on one of the characters and doesn't take the rest? Does he take all of the hits on all of the characters?
Yes, that
and
is
then
fair.
what happens? And then what happens if there's 10 damage that's dealt across everything, and 8 of it gets put on Beast, and there's 2 left over? Where does that go?
Yeah.
Is that chosen by somebody? Who's it chosen by?
Yeah.
You know,
there's
a lot of.
It's just a mess.
Yeah, it's a huge mess.
But I feel like however it ends up working, it's still probably playable.
Yeah, I mean, I think, however it ends up working, I think it's a pretty good card. It would be a fun build around card or support card of some kind for sure.
Since he said Lilo can technically have 3 damage before the game checks it and dies, this would mean Beast can stack damage infinitely until it actually dies.
Okay, so maybe it would take...
Put that many damage counters on this character instead.
So if Grab Your Sword deals 10 damage across the board, and that's how it works, Beast would take 10 damage and then be banished, so rather than floating.
Yeah,
damage.
That's what but then also we said that it's the Beast scenario that explodes my brain. But then somebody made the argument that the difference between dealt damage and putting damage counters on this character is different. So if the one Beast was dealt damage, you put the damage on the other one, but then that first one doesn't see damage, it sees damage counters go on. So that...
Or do you put it on both? Like, do they both receive damage?
You mean if there's a third thing out that gets hit?
So if there's 2 Beasts and there's a Lilo, and Lilo gets smashed, do both Beasts take 3 damage? Like...
Yeah. No.
Who knows?
I don't know. Oh man, it's way too late for this. Let's move on.
Move on to the next one.
So anyway, we have come to the conclusion this card is either awesome or terrible, and we'll let you know.
Follow us on Twitter to find out. Next is an inkable 5-cost card, Beast Tragic Hero with 3 strength, 5 willpower, 2 lore, Floodborn Hero print, shift 3. Ability, it's better this way at the start of your turn. If this character has no damage, draw a card. Otherwise, he gets +4 strength this turn. That's a lot of words.
Yeah, it is. I think this is pretty good. I like any card that you can kind of go either way with it, and you can choose what you want to do with it. And that's kind of what you're almost able to do here, in that you can almost choose whether you're using this as card draw or as a big challenger. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it should always draw 1 card unless there's a thing that says deal damage to a character when it enters play.
Yeah, but you might want it.
Oh, never mind. It's at the start of your turn.
It's the start of your turn. Yeah, but you might want it. You might ping this yourself.
Yeah,
to guarantee that it's big enough next turn to kill something.
Yeah.
You know, so you can choose to do that. But I like the fact that you can choose to. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's fun. I think it's cool.
First
I don't
20
think
puts
it's a
it
bad
perfectly
legendary.
right, though. Either way, we need rulings. What I think doesn't matter. Correct. And what I think doesn't matter and what Brandon thinks doesn't matter. Like,
Yep.
that's the point. Whenever I have these arguments with people, it's not because I'm trying to say, well, clearly I know how the card works. Listen to me. I'm saying none of us know how the card works. We need to listen to the developers.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think this is pretty good. I think this will see play. We just need a good target for him. I'm kind of do we ever see a beast card that's the prince?
I hope so.
Like a 2-costed just dude.
Like in human form?
Yeah, but he's still
I
called
hope
Beast.
so.
Would he still be
Yeah,
called Beast?
I don't know what his canonical name is. If it
I
isn't,
don't know.
I mean, I know it's
Jeff.
not Beast. I'm sure it's something, but yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But is he still Beast? Yeah. That's the same dude, right? But yeah. The only decent still legendary, but I think he's very decent. As in
yeah.
Like the best he is decent.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Rapunzel or Stitch Surfer or
not even close, right?
or anything.
Steel continues to have the dirty done on it in legendaries. Next up, 3-costed Inkable, 2/3 for 2 lore, Benja, Guardian of the Dragon Gem, Storyboard Mentor King. We have a choice when you play this character. You may banish chosen item. Sure, slightly lower.
I like it.
Costed and statted wolf, hard-headed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hard-headed.
Yeah, 3 cost. Like, I feel like I might even play a 3-costed banish chosen item action, and this leaves a pretty decent dude behind.
Would you?
If
already have break.
If items really start to become a problem,
but we already have break,
which is 2.
At least I thought it was 1, but maybe you're right.
No, it's not 1, is it? But break is 2. So that's saying that this card is worth wanting.
Yeah.
Break is 2. So that's good, right? So that's what I'm saying. If break is 2, this is a 1-costed 2/3 for 2 lore. Basically.
2/3 with 2 lore.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Prince Adam, that's the one. Yeah. Prince Adam is Beast. Okay. So I wonder if you could have Beast Prince Adam, could you?
Prince Adam.
Yeah. I feel like that'd be weird.
Nah.
Yeah, Ben's just fine. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Next we have Hercules, Divine Hero, Inkable 6-cost character with 6 strength, 3 willpower, 2 lore, Floodborn Hero, Prince Deity, Shift 4, Resist +2. I think it's a good card.
Yeah, I think it's good, but it's kind of boring.
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't say it was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah, it's good, but it's like, oh yeah, cool. He's going to be difficult to kill.
Tough dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's Hercules. It's like the epitome of Hercules.
It's kind of what he should just be. Yeah, just like a muscly dude that's super bland.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got a relatively decent shift target for him outside of the bodyguard, though. A 2-costed Inkable 2/3 for 1. Hero in training, vanilla, but perfectly playable alongside the shift 4 one there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Next up.
Did we just go over Hercules Hero in training?
I mean, yeah, unless you want to say anything else. No, he's got really good flavor text.
The flavor text? Yeah.
Yeah, no need to call 911. That's good.
Yeah, I like it. But after that, we have Kronk, Junior Chipmunk, an Inkable 6-cost character with 4 strength, 5 willpower, 2 lore, Storyborn ally, resist +1 with the ability Scout Leader. During your turn, whenever this character banishes another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to chosen character. I like it.
Yeah, me too. I find it fascinating that this is almost exactly Giant Tink, but is also like the antithesis of Giant Tink with the resist 1 on it.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting that Steel almost counters itself in this set.
Yeah. I'm so eager to see what that does to the overall competitive meta and just like meta in general.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, how do you beat steel? You play steel, but different steel cards.
Yeah.
And then I guess to counter that, you play not steel to banish those resist cards. But I don't know. It is an interesting choice, I think.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but I know I think Kronk's very playable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's good. How to get value out of since he's not a shift. It's probably still good. Yeah, and to be fair, that is true. A lot of the real value out of Giant Tink is being able to swing into something straight away. But I did find that people got a little bit savvier to that as the meta went on. I started getting a lot.
Say, like, yes, but in my most updated Amber Steel list doesn't run the small
Doesn't
tink.
run the little one. Yeah. No, you're quite happy to play it on 6, but occasionally I would still run the small. I would still run the Tiny Tactician. But yes, you're right. I could probably lose it because at the start, 3 months ago, people were questing all day long whilst Tactician was sat there on turn 4, But people got much savvier as it went on, so you would find that you were able to get that sort of trick a lot less. So, yeah. Okay, wait. What's next? 3-costed Inkable 0/4 for 2 lore Lawrence. Jealous Manservant, Storyborn Ally, Payback. While this character has no damage, he gets +4 strength. I don't mind this for an uncommon.
It feels weird to me. Feels like it's backwards. It's like when I have a lot of strength, I should be questing. And then when I challenge something and now don't have any willpower, I can't challenge anything. Like I get kind of like the flavor and the ability of like while I'm healthy, I'm really strong. I don't know. It's like it just seems backwards to me. Like I'd rather quest and then take damage, and then now that I'm damaged, I swing into something rather than swinging in at full health. Because then I just probably get snapped back and get banished anyway.
Yeah, you're right. It probably is a little backwards, but I mean, I still don't hate for uncommon. I'd draft it. I think. Like I'd be happy taking it in limited. I think.
2 lore's not bad. Zeus was pretty good. He was uninkable and only had 2 lore, I think, with the same stats essentially with Rush.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This next one is super exciting.
Yes. A Magic Broom industrial model. Inkable 3 cost 2/3 with 1 lore. The ability make it shine. When you play this character, chosen character gains resist +1 until the start of your next turn. So happy to see more brooms.
Yeah. Give me all the brooms.
Yes, just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
I
kind of figured that we'd see more brooms because there weren't any other ones in the first chapter, but I'd kind of forgotten about it. Like it was just
exactly the same.
Earlier on, I was like, I'd forgotten about.
Yeah, all along I was like, yeah, well, there's definitely going to be a broom or 2 here and there. But then I'd completely forgot about it until this. I love so much about this. Like I don't think it's a particularly great card, honestly, but just the fact that it's a broom, I love the idea. I want to get a broom every set, and the fact that this is so out there in its art and like the type it is. I just love the idea that because I feel eventually sets are going to move to be more thematic as well. Like I feel like we will move into like a jungle-y kind of set and a spacey kind of set and things like that. And now just give me a broom from wherever it is. Like give me a fire elemental broom and give me a flying dragon broom and just give me the wackiest ass brooms.
Yeah, I agree. I like it, even if it's just 1 broom every set, I'd be so happy.
So, do you need those brooms to stay in Amethyst Steel?
No. I'm fine with.
You're happy to get a rainbow of brooms and pick and choose?
I would love to more quickly reached the point where my entire deck is Mickey and brooms. So obviously for those reasons, it'd be better for it to stay in Amethyst or Steel. But I think for thematic reasons, it would be really fun to see brooms in every ink,
In every
and they're
color.
all different and do different things.
Do
Like this looks like a very Steel broom.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Do you think? Okay, so next question. I have loads of questions about what people think about brooms. Do you want to see more?
Can chat just clip that? I just want that like little bit clipped, and we'll just use it out of context.
I got lots of questions about what people think of brooms. Do you have? Do you want more Mickeys that care about brooms? Do you want more characters in general that care about brooms?
Oh, okay. Maybe characters. That'd be fun. I don't care if we get more Mickeys. I get like it's more thematic for Mickey to be the one that cares about brooms. But it'd be pretty fun if there was a like Dreamborn Donald broom sorcerer,
Yeah. And I mean,
or anybody else.
There's plenty of fairies that have brooms in the lore,
yeah,
right?
You're right. You're right.
Like
that'd be cool. Do that.
Because at the moment, my dream is four wayward sorcerers and 56 brooms. But but actually, I'm thinking it would probably be better to maybe have one or two more broom payoffs. Like we could get like a really good yin sieve that bounces all your brooms back for some value or something.
Yeah, like a couple more broom thematic characters that aren't brooms, just to tie the whole thing together.
Yeah, I love the idea of the slow burn, that this is something they're working on in the background. It fills me full of hope. 4 costed uninkable 2/4 for 1 lore Namari, Morning Mist, Steamborn villain princess with bodyguard and blades. This character can challenge ready characters. All right, tell me why this isn't terrible.
I mean, it's not terrible because it can challenge ready characters.
That is really good, and it can kill your ready tutus.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you're pairing it with, right? Like if you play this with Queen, this is a great card.
Yeah, it becomes a 6/4.
Or a great combo. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because Queen's good. Not because this is good.
I don't care. There's two other cards that let me challenge ready characters, which is really strong. So
so there's the fight the one Wreck-It Ralph card, right? That lets. And how's that then? Chosen character has blades, basically.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
Cinderella, and you have to play a song that
you've
turn.
to play the song. That's right. That was way back. It was like one of the first releases, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She has a very pretty enchanted. Yeah, it's really nice actually. But I don't like this card. It doesn't make sense that it's a bodyguard that wants to challenge.
No. Yeah.
It's really poorly statted.
It's a very confusing card.
Yeah, I don't love it. Maybe it's setting up something for the next set. Like that seems to happen a lot. I'm still waiting for the set that makes Gantu work.
Me too. Me too, brother. For Lumitier's sake.
It's got, oh man, they'd be rich.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Next is Pacha, village leader, inkable 6 cost, 4/8, 2 lore, vanilla. I mean, he's a big boy.
Dude.
But a vanilla.
2 costed inkable, 1/1 for 2. The Huntsman. Reluctant enforcer, storyborn ally, change of heart. When I read the German of this, I was trying my best to translate, and I read the ability as heart exchange. And then I got halfway through reading it, I was like, oh no, of course it's change of heart, of course it is. So heart transplant. Whenever this character quests, you may draw a card, then choose and discard a card. I feel like I might play this over Simba.
Really?
Yeah. Do you not?
You play this over Cinderella?
Simba.
It's the same thing. I know, but Cinderella's the same thing, but a 2 cost. Small steel Cinderella.
Oh, totally forgot about her. Yeah, Knight in Training. Is that what she does?
I think so.
Absolutely forgot about her. Yeah.
I know that she has the same ability as Simba. I forget it. I'm pretty sure she's 2 ink.
Yeah.
But I just do that instead, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I honestly completely forgot she existed. Yeah, 2-costed 2/2. When you place character, you may draw, then choose and discard. Oh yeah, but this guy does it on quests, so you might be able to do it more than once.
Right.
That's the difference. But yeah, no, you probably play
Does he
Cinderella.
survive more than once though?
Probably not.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's carry on.
Next is Tiana, Diligent Waitress. Inkable 1 cost, 1/3 with 1 lore. Storyborn Hero Princess. She's Steel's version of the 1/3 1 drop.
Yeah.
Love the art, love the flavor text, love the beignets, love everything about this card.
Yeah.
Other than it being a vanilla.
I really thought that the Tiana that cared about hands like empty hand and stuff was a
I did too. Floodborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did we get 2 of these this set then? These 1/3s. So this is a slower cycle. Because set 1 we got Olaf and
what's
Minnie.
the other one?
Flynn Rider.
We got another one. Yes.
So we got an Emerald Flynn Rider. So I think we've got 2 this set. So next set we can assume to get an Amber and Sapphire, one of those, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
So in this set loves the 1/1/3. I can say I think there's only this and Flynn, unless I'm missing them. Yeah, and then
I can't think of them.
Set 1 had Millie and Olaf. Future shift target. I think you're right. I hope you're right.
Probably.
It's a cool card, but at the minute I don't think it sees play.
Yep.
Do we know why some of the words in the text are bolded? Like my.
I think just emphasis. Like that's how she would say it.
My place.
My place is going to be special with great food to fill people's bellies and hot jazz to feed their souls.
I see. All right.
Because she talks like that in the movie.
Like what? Do it again.
I'm not going to do it again.
Next up, 2-costed Inkable. Charge action. Chosen character gains +2 Challenger and +2 Resist this turn. Again, I credit where credit's due to the Glimmer Gang for making this sound better than it is, I think. So I will say that this is one of the better combat tricks. Because it
has resist.
Because it's an offensive and defensive boost, right? Like, but it is still a combat trick, right? I think.
Yep.
They don't impress me that much. This is what This is what Tuk Tuk's ability should have been. What, just a guy with Challenger 2 resist 2? Yeah.
That would have been better.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Next is Let the Storm Rage On with Uninkable 3, action song, deal 2 damage to chosen character, draw a card. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Does it replace Smash?
I don't know. That's the hard thing. It's a very in between cannons and Smash, and I'm having a hard time figuring out when you run which. Because right now, I think Smash wins over cannons almost all the time.
Yeah, I feel like cannons has completely dropped off the competitive scene now.
It might change with this set because there's so many like one willpower things and 2 willpower things that I could see aggressive decks coming up, and there'd be a need for like a really fast, like Cinderella mainly, like you run cannons just for Cinderella, the singer. But I don't know if you play this or Smash. I think with resists coming up, you're more inclined to run Smash instead. Yeah. I don't think Steel's hurting for card draw necessarily. But drawing a card.
Yeah, I think it is linkable. The fact there's a song is quite nice.
Oh yeah, that too.
Chosen character can damage your character, Jamal says. I'm pretty sure every Steel thing that deals damage can target yourself. I don't think there's anything that doesn't. Smash, fire the cannons.
No, I don't think
all the Steel pings.
Oh, you just mean actions?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
Some of like the pings from abilities can't. Yeah, like I think Giant Tink specifically say it's opposing. But yeah, all of the actions and a lot of the pinging stuff, especially in this set, like the Robin Hood and most of the stuff that pings one when it comes out, you can target your own stuff. So, but it's a good point. It is worth bearing that in mind for the decks that want to see it. Yeah. 3-costed Inkable action song, Strength of a Raging Fire, deal damage to chosen character equal to the number of characters you have in play. I think this is good. I think this probably sees playing Amber Steel songs. Yeah, I think it's good because even like lowest like floor on this is it pings 1 for free with singing it. You know, I'll play Cinderella on turn 1 and sing this to kill a Lilo that's behind the turn 2 Simba or something. You know.
Yeah, sure. I like it.
Yeah.
Next is Last Cannon, inkable 1-cost item card. Arm yourself for 1 ink. You can banish this item. Chosen character gains Challenger +3 this turn.
Nope. Yeah, I stopped listening when you said for 1 ink banish this item. Like I don't care what the hell it does. It says win the game. I still wouldn't play it. Out of spite.
yeah, not good. Next.
I think it's one with the last one. Weight set 3-costed inkable. Whenever you play a character with 4 strength or more, you can pay 1 to draw a card. I don't think this is terrible, actually. I'll need to play around with this, but I don't think it's awful.
It's worth testing, I think. Yeah. I think definitely more like control-y card because there's not much you would really want. You could use this on curve for, but I think it's pretty good. Like I could see it replacing Beast Mirror as an item. Things like that.
I never even thought about like where it fits in that kind of deck. But yeah, so Beast Mirror is the one where you need your hand empty to draw. Yeah, I think this probably does replace that. I think that is much more useful. Yeah, I don't mind this. I think what's the rarity on this? My thing is covering
rare.
Up as a rare. Yeah, I think this is. I think this could be pretty good actually. And I think, yeah, that's it. We did it.
Whew.
Under
We're
3
done.
hours. We're under
Not
3
bad.
hours. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's all we kind of wanted to do today because we knew this would take an age, but we knew we wanted to go through all of them with you guys. So
yeah.
Next week, I think this show looks very different.
Yeah, probably more like what we envisioned it to be originally.
Yeah, I think so as well. So we'll be looking at. Does anybody know what the drink says? It says Herculade because that's what it's called in the movie.
Yep. Flavor win.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, we did it. We saved the city. So next week we will take a look at the launch. We'll see who got hold of what, if we got any cool pulls, how any starter deck tournaments or anything like that we're going to. Have you got anything like that booked in, like a launch event?
The only thing I have right now, there's a draft event that a store about an hour from me is doing. So that's on Friday. So barring all of my buddies saying, hey, we all should meet up at the shop and play some games and, open product or whatever, I'll probably go to that. But other than that, there's no like starter deck.
The shop, like your local store itself isn't running a thing, no?
I don't think so.
Will it be set 2 drafting?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
It'll be,
that'd be really
set 2
yeah.
4-pack draft. Yeah.
Because I haven't drafted.
Yeah,
that's drafted set 2 by then.
I haven't drafted ever, so it will be fun to do that. But yeah, that's why I'm doing it. Otherwise, I wouldn't drive an hour. Because I'm like, it's 4 packs, and right now, I don't really have anything secured. I'm fairly certain that I'll be able to get something from my LGS if it comes in on time. But I don't even know how much I'll be able to get from them. So yeah, I'm just looking to get anything that I can, really.
Yeah, and everyone out there as well who's looking at getting hold of some, best of luck. Don't overpay.
No.
Don't let the FOMO beat you. It'll get here. I think with set 2, it's going to be a little bit more prevalent than set 1. It looks like the reprints are coming by the end of the year. It looks like we'll have a restock of the second set. So take your time. Buy the singles if you need to.
Don't buy them yet.
But
if
not
you
right
can
now.
wait,
wait a bit.
If you can wait at least 2 weeks before you buy singles.
Wait a few weeks for singles, but grab a starter. Just enjoy the set. Keep playing with set 1 stuff. I'm pretty sure most of my decks are staying relatively the same. Maybe a handful of cards going in and out of them. I think. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of new fun decks to build.
Right.
But this set doesn't negate set 1 at all. I don't think so.
No.
No. I think especially something like Amber Steel Songs has just got incredible new toys to go into it. I still think it's going to be a real contender for meta top tier stuff. But yeah, try and pay a good price for your stuff. Be safe out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anything else you wanted to say?
I have this cool thing to show off. That's it. At Miami, Peter Raimundo was there.
Yeah.
Who's an animator, animated Lilo and Stitch. So I bought this Funko Pop and had him illustrate Stitch on the side of it. So that's really cool.
So good.
And then I gave him all of the Stitches and said, pick one and illustrate on it. And so he did. It's a little bit hard to see.
Raindrops.
Yeah, he illustrated the rain in that scene of the movie and then signed the card.
That's amazing.
He had to ship it to me.
That's amazing. That like whatever pen he's used, it's like it looks like it's crazy bright on the Stitch packaging. Like it's incredible. It's like a paint pen, I guess.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm sleepy as well. I'm gonna head out. Thanks so much for joining us. Where can people find you, Brandon?
You can find me on YouTube at B224. You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at B224YT. Appreciate the follows and the subscribes and all that kind of stuff. I have some videos planned now that all the cards are revealed. I'll probably do some set review stuff per ink or ink identities. So be on the lookout for that.
Can't wait. And I'm here. You're already watching where I am, so that's easy.
Subscribe.
Yeah, and subscribe. And thank you again for all of the what are they called?
Yes.
The money.
Super chats.
For the money.
Yes.
Super chats, that's it. We really do appreciate those. And yeah, all of that gets split right down the middle between me and Brandon. So we really do appreciate the support and just being here and hanging out and liking us and all that sort of stuff. So we thank you so much for being with us. And until next week in ink, that was This Week in Ink. Bye.
Bye.